What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Off the Ball Network debut show. I'm very happy to finally have launched the Off the Ball Network, and it's been a long few weeks trying to get this going and getting everything. A lot of stressful nights trying to figure everything out. But I'm excited to finally have launched, and this is the debut live for the Off the Ball Network. I'm your host, Chris LeBron. I am the host of the Off the Ball podcast, and we got a jam-packed crew today, and all these guys are guys I've had on here. You guys have seen before. We got a new face here, Edgar. Who's also a part of the Off the Bolt Network. He's going to be helping in a lot of different ways. So, guys, it's Steven, you run your own network, and but you're going to be doing a lot of stuff with us too. So it's all
yeah.
no matter what. So, but guys, I got Mo, I got Couch, I got Jeff, I got Rob, all part of the Off the Bolt Network. Mo and Jeff, my VPs, my right hands. You guys helped big time with getting this going. So I want to thank everyone here, and I'm excited about this. And thank you guys. And the floor is yours. Talk about let's first talk about this network and what are your expectations? What do you want to see come out of this? Obviously, like I said, today we debuted the Off the Ball Network, and I'm very excited. So Mo, VP, talk.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic to be a part of this. I'm ecstatic to be a VP of this. The biggest shout out goes to Rob first, just for the simple fact Rob kind of got me in this game altogether. You know what I'm saying? I was a guest on his show first. Didn't have my own podcast. He pushed me to get my own, and not in a sense of like I don't want you on my show no more, but in a sense of bro, you can do this also. So I want to give a big shout out to Rob. Shout out to you, Chris, for getting me on there and making me a VP. Jeff, love working with you as both of us being VPs and things like that. Steven for doing a couple dope shows with you. Just recently was on yours. You just recently were on mine. Couch Coach being able to link up with you. So definitely a big shout out. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the network. And shout out to anybody who's interested in joining the network. I think the only thing for me is expectations is you got to be willing to put in the work that these 7 guys right here have put in. We've put in a lot of work. Chris more so than anybody else as far as getting this network started. Steven put in a lot of work in his. I know it didn't happen overnight. Rob puts in a lot of work doing a lot of things on his podcast. So do I. Jeff has 2 different podcasts going, so therefore I know he puts in a lot of work. And Couch Coach going live all the time, things like that. Been at it for years. And Edgar, glad to have you part of the team. I know you about to put in some work. So ultimately, the expectation is if you're not willing to put as much work as these 7 guys sitting right here, and like I say, Steven is all aspect sports. It's more of a collaboration than it is competition. We're gonna be together.
Yes, sir.
So if you're not willing to put in the work, don't even waste your time hitting us up saying I want to do this, I want to do that. This is for fun, but there's bigger goals and needs. So ultimately, if you're willing to put in work, let one of us know. We'll get you we'll lead you in the right direction, and we'll let you know how you can contribute to our network.
For sure, man. Jeff, my other VP, my other right hand.
I'm super excited. Yeah, I started my journey about a year ago in podcasting, and just like everybody else, I had all these thoughts in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, why should the guys on ESPN why should they be the only ones that put their opinion out there? So I started the football podcast. In the winter, I wanted to kind of branch out a little bit. I wanted to really, really enjoy interviewing other podcasters and things like that. That's about the time that, Rob, Chris, you guys, came across my radar. So I listened to you guys. Then, Mo, I met Mo through, Rob's show. And every time those guys were together, you can go back and look at my tweets. Like, you guys remember, I was like, I don't know, like when you guys were together, that was great. And then Couch Coach was honored me by being on my show by accepting an invite, and we did some Bulls pregame show for the Last Dance, and then that blew my mind. And then Chris invited me on his show. Then that turned into something bigger, and I started working with all you guys. Steven, he came on my show, so it just kind of snowballed. And then the network's just right up my alley. It's a way to get people's voice out there and to help and to make everybody understand that like there's more than just 4 or 5 guys on ESPN that know what they're talking about, if not more. And so I'm super excited for this. This is I mean, it's kind of a dream of mine. I mean, I'm an old guy. I saw Sports Center grow over the years, and this is kind of like my chance to do something like that. So it's just fun working with you guys, and I can't wait to read all the articles. I can't wait to start writing some articles. I want to get in some writing and then do some of that. I can't wait to get my show kicked off again, hopefully. So you guys are awesome, and I'm honored to be a part of it, and I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to have you guys. Like I said, you guys have been helping me through this process, so I'm excited about Couch. What's going on,
sir. Man? I'm good, man. Yeah, man, Chris, I definitely appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. And it's funny, like how our crowds cross paths in January.
My first guest.
Yeah, and I remember you came on to my podcast and we talked about the Zion. He came on my podcast, Zion's debut, and and it's one thing where I was really honored that you picked me as one of your guests to by far one of the biggest sports stories this decade, much less this year. It's probably gonna go down as probably the biggest sports tragedies of our lifetime. And you having me as your guest was just something that was amazing. And in this meeting, how it's funny how we all connected the dots. Where then I went to Jeff. Jeff, I was just randomly one day like he want to do a Last Dance pregame show, and I'm like, man, I'm down. And then how that went, and then Jeff, you definitely provided me with a lot of opportunities. That I was able to meet Rob through you because he was a Washington football team fan as I am as well. Have to be PC. Yep. So and then from that, then I met Mo, and then I met Steve, and Steve had my back when I picked Luka. He had my back, and everybody had my back. So, and man, I'm just definitely appreciative of you guys. I think one thing too, this is just a great opportunity. It really has helped me as far as create better content. Where you guys, it's like ironing, sharpening iron. Mm-hmm. Like we're not in no competition with each other. We're like, hey, we give out great ideas throughout the course of the week. Like, let's run with it. Like one day I was thinking about Madden rankings. Jeff was like, oh, I want to do it. And it's like one of the things where it's just like, this is a great opportunity where we're all going to be able to create content, and this is going to make us better, and it's just going to be a collective that I think cannot be stopped.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy how, like I said, Couch. I had Couch and Jay Stevens, bro, as my first guest, and then it just from there on, it just trickled down to it spreads. It's like a tree, and just everyone's, and then you got Jeff with Couch, and then everyone finally just links up with each other, and then you and Rob, the Redskins fans, and you guys, it's crazy how we start and then it just branches out and everyone gets to work with each other, and then now look, it's pretty dope. So Rob, what's going on, bro? Talk to me about how you feel about the network.
I'm excited. First and foremost, thank you for the opportunity. Like I cannot express how thankful and how grateful I am for the opportunity. I can say until I'm blue in the face and it'll never be enough. But yeah, as Mo said, we back in, I want to say like November timeframe, I released my first episode. It was after the LSU Bama game. And then me and Mo, we play flag football together because we're at the same command. We play flag football together. And he just messaged me one day. He was like, yo, let me get on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Let's set something up. Didn't think it was really going to come to anything. And he hit me up like 2 days later. He's, hey, what's good with the podcast? I was like, all right, like, yeah, if you really trying to come do it, like, yeah, definitely come do it. And the first one, he was nervous. He was nervous. And, as was I on my first. I think we can all attest to that your first one, you're definitely nervous. Mm-hmm. But yeah, once we got a couple under our belts, like it was just natural. And I kept telling him, hey, bro, you need to start your own. I was very, very careful not to make it seem like, hey, I don't want you on my show, but more, hey, you got an act for it. Like you definitely do this, definitely, do it on your own. And finally he did it. And I couldn't be happy for you, Mo, VP of a network. That's dope. Jeff, I think, was one of the first outside podcasters and like not big podcasters that I had ever come across. He was some Facebook group. I saw it was something about sports. I saw football and I was like, yeah, let me check it out. Tuesday Aftermath. It became my my go-to.
Oh,
Every
really?
Wednesday morning. Yeah. Every Wednesday morning after you guys would put it out Wednesday morning, I'd get to work early. I would just sit in my car and just listen to it before I walked to work. And then obviously you set me up with Coach, which is one of the best connections that I have.
Oh man, it was amazing.
Another Washington fan is dope.
That was a good show.
I think Steven, our first time meeting was on the NBA all-time draft for almost each and every one of you disrespected my team and my dark horse pick of Bruce Bowen. Don't think I'm gonna forget that. But yeah, ultimately, man, my expectation is just for all of us to grow together. You know, Steven included, even though you're not part of, you're not actually a part of this network, but you're still just as much a part of this network as any of us, and definitely want to see you keep growing and along with the rest of us.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah, for sure. So Edgar, he's obviously this is his first time on our doing our lives, but Edgar does a lot of cool stuff. So Edgar, just talk to guys about what you do and what's your expectations for the network.
First of all, thank you very much for letting me be on this. This is the very first podcast I've ever been on, so yeah,
awesome.
I am a little nervous,
No, you're good, man. You're good here, man. We're all cool here.
Yeah, you're good. You're with family, dude.
It's family here, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
I right now I want to get into a. Oh, give me 1 second. I want to get into a career with sports journalism. I'm going to school for that. And I'm working with Knicks Fan TV. With CP, I know maybe some of you know him and whatnot. He has me run his Facebook account, and I post, a bunch of different things, like giving people alerts on when the next show is going to come on. Any Knicks-related news I post, I try to keep the fans engaged as much as possible. Try to respond to them, keep them talking. Edit any sort of post. And just things like that, and I'm excited because I want to see, like you guys say, I want to see a bunch of growth. I want to see everybody succeed. I was telling, I was talking to CP the other day, and I was saying, hey, it'd be dope if we collaborated with other people and other pages, in order to grow. I think the best thing that we can do is work with a bunch of different people so we can get things out there. A lot of people want to keep the shine for themselves. They don't want to collaborate with others.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think that's a big mistake, because I think when you collaborate with more people, you get your work out there. You start building a buzz and everything.
For sure.
That's what I want to see. Just work with different people, work with different pages. Work with different groups and NBA fan pages, NFL fan pages. Keep it growing. I think that's the number one thing. That's one of the big things that should be that we should focus on.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys don't know, Knicks Fan TV is like it's probably the top Knicks like podcast, in New York City. It's very popular. Sure. He's had probably almost every top Knicks player, past and present, on the show. So he's definitely one of the top, like I said, one of the top, not just Knicks content creators, but one of the top, basketball creators, period. So Edgar, go Edgar, yeah.
I'm sorry, and one of the important things is that, the thing that's popular with the Knicks is that, the running joke is that, it's a poor franchise, we have no respect, whatever. But what we do on Knicks Fan TV is that we try to portray a different picture. It's not all negative content like ESPN likes to put out, or Bleacher Report, like they like to crack jokes every other day. But the fans get tired of that. The fans want to see other things too. That's why they tune in to Knicks Fan TV. And then we put out positive content out there for these teams, about these players and things like that. People will definitely take to that as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, like I said, it's one of the best podcast Andix podcasts out there for sure. So hopefully down the line we'll definitely get to work with CP and the gang over there because he definitely does tremendous work, and that's definitely something on my bucket list to get it to work with him. But Steven, you have all Aspect Sports. You have your own network that you just launched not too long ago, maybe a week or so. You've been in the game with your obviously. I mean, I feel like we've only met we've only been talking for 2 weeks,
2-3 weeks. It's nuts,
and
man.
it's like we're on here daily, but it's definitely dope, and it's great. Like Edgar had mentioned, collabing with other networks. It's some people might, and I've seen people get weary of that, and I'm like, why? We should all be in it together,
Right.
It's not like we're ESPN and Fox Sports where they were talking about billion-dollar companies. We're all we all want to get to a certain get to that next level. So why not grow with each other? And that's why I created the network. I'm sure that's why you created a network. So just talk about how you got your stuff started, because I'm learning. I'm sure you're learning too. So it's always it's always good to learn from other networks and to see how everyone operates at there. So just talk to me about the process of going about that, because I think that's something that a lot of people want to know about.
Yeah, sure, man. Well, first off, I just want to appreciate. I know this is a big day for your network, but I'm honored to be with I always call y'all, man. Y'all are my Off the Ball Network family, man, and I appreciate y'all having me. Love being here. Love the energy, and congratulations again, by the way. But yeah, so when I launched All Aspect Sports, it basically was me moving. I'm in the Navy, like Mo and Rob. I moved from Georgia to Washington, a place where I knew a lot of people, to a place where I knew no one. And so I wanted to, develop my own podcast, and, that grew into me getting a website. And then from there, I wanted my website to be able to cover all the major sports in North America. So I just reached out to a bunch of talented people just like you guys did, and, just wanted to bring them on and offer them a place to write and to podcast. And that's basically what happened. We launched on the 1st, and it's been great. We've had, a number of articles already posted up and a number of podcasts. So, you guys have been on a number of those already, speaking of the podcasts, and I've been on y'all's. And, that I took a note earlier about what, Couch said earlier about the think tank, basically, right? Even though that we're different networks, we work together, and, Rob will come up with a great idea and post it to the group, or I'll come up with an idea, or Jeff, or, everyone will come up with an idea for a show, and we're just like, yeah, bet, let's do this. So, I'm fortunate that I get to, promote you guys. Today was a big day for me. I had my first time with my new co-host, and, the rebranding of, my podcast, Breaking the Game. And, I took the opportunity, promoted y'all out there twice on the show today, man, because y'all are my family, bro. So look out for you guys just like y'all look out for me.
For sure. I definitely appreciate that, and like I said, we'll definitely be working together on future projects. So that's something I'm looking forward to in the future. But before I get to the next, our next topic we'll talk about, I just want to say thank you guys for wanting to be a part of this. Because that means a lot to me, because now it's tough for people to jump aboard something that's brand new, that's right out of the box, and people you don't know what to expect. But I appreciate you guys wanting to be a part of this, and we're gonna grow this together. We're gonna make this dope, and that's why I had you guys aboard. So I appreciate you guys 100% for joining and getting on this. And like I said, let's make something dope. Let's create something dope that and we got so many great things that we haven't even put on, that's not even there on the site or even created yet, but we got it in the lab, and we're just testing it out and working the kinks. But I know Jeff got a whole bunch of things in his head that he's got, and I'm sure everyone else everyone else has great ideas. We got in the group chat, everyone's always popping up great ideas. So, and like I said, just because I'm the boss or CEO or whatever you want to call me, doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to everyone and listen to everyone's ideas. Because like I said, this is a total team effort. This isn't no Dan Snyder stuff. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna alienate you guys. Sorry, I just had to do it.
Come on, man.
Dolan.
I was
All
about to say-
right, JD in the straight shot.
I was about to say
Hey,
Dolan,
what
bro.
did Edgar say before? We keeping this positive. We're not gonna be negativity.
No, he said his show is positive.
All right, JD.
His
All
show
right,
is
JD. JD.
Hey. We ain't gonna bring up that. I don't need that my heart pressure, my blood pressure to go up. all right. So,
Chris, can I just say one more thing?
okay, VP, you can.
I just want to say one more thing, and my fault, but it does hold a lot of weight, and I know multiple guys in here, Chris, and Jeff and Rob, and I know just a lot of guys can feel this. Is my wife asked me a question today and was like, how are you able to balance, like, she would love to interview me for my podcast for me, but like, how are we able to balance having a family, being a husband, boyfriend, father, and all those things, and on top of that, be very consistent in putting out content. And so I just want to get a touch on everybody, because y'all can feel it more than anybody, because we're one of those few things. It's tough. People don't understand that we're not getting paid for this, and we put in work day in and day out.
Yeah.
Whether it's we put out an episode one day, we hit up 20 people the next day to get on our next episode.
Right.
We plan the lives, and we all are able to link up 7 deep right now with families that right now we're taking time away from to get on here and promote the network, to talk whatever we're going to talk about today. But people really don't understand how tough it really is, and that's just one thing I want to put out on is like, bro, we've put in a lot of work together. We made some sacrifices, and why I say it's a sacrifice is because it's free. We not getting paid a single dime right now. We created a whole network. Big shout out to Chris for really ultimately making the website and things like that. I didn't really have my hands in the website, but still, like, to be able to put content day in and day out, Rob, this week goes to show how much of a grind it really is. Rob put out an episode. Rob wrote 2 articles, sent them to
dope
Chris.
articles, like
and great
Thank
articles
you.
on top of that. Like, and so people don't understand. Jeff went camping and is ultimately able to get here for this episode as a VP to put out. So people don't understand how much time we put into this, how much time we make available for this, to be able to make this network go, for people to be able to listen to our content on a daily basis. So I just want to give a big shout out to all of y'all, because with me having a family and things like that, I know the work it takes, and with Steven having his own network, I know it takes a little more work having your own network. But bro, we put so much time into this, and people really don't understand, like, for us to be so ecstatic about opening our own network, for us to have a whole network for our podcast, our articles, and whatever else we got coming in the future to be heard, to be seen, to be read. It is big time, bro, because we sacrifice a little bit of time with our families on a daily basis to make sure that we can do. And so just to know that our families support what we do is also big time. So shout out to the wives, the girlfriends,
Yes, sir.
whatever, that is allowing us to get together right now for this hour and a half, 2 hours, however long this episode is going to be. Shout out to all of them for giving us the time, taking care of the kids, taking care of the home, to allow us to get together. So I definitely wanted to hit on that, because I know most people, if not everybody in here, can feel that on a different level. So shout out to everybody that's holding down the home for us to be able to get together, open this network, talk about it, talk sports, and just ultimately be able to do what we do, grind what we grind for free, for a bigger goal.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, it's the style. I think we all have a kind of similar stories about how we started our podcast, right? We all have. We had either a crappy mic or no mic, and we just speaking it. And like, to know that, I know for me, to start it that way and having no structure in a show and just going off like a bat and doing a lot of gaps, and then to get to the first show, to get where I'm at now, where I got a network and I got a bunch of guys that want to be a part of it, and I've created a solid show that gained some traction and got some guys that future pros, on NBA players that might be on the show, and some dope journalists and other podcasts. It's like crazy. Like, I remember, like I said, with Coach and Jay Stevens for my first, and I'm like, I thought that was big time. Getting people, I'm like, whoa, people want to come on my show. I'm like, that's big time. Like, and to continue that relationship. I mean, I didn't know a community like this even existed. I thought when you think podcast, you're thinking about Joe Rogan and you're thinking about Bill Simmons. You're thinking about these big time podcasters that you don't think that there's a whole nother world, nother world. And I'm like, whoa, there's a podcast group on Facebook. And that's how I met a lot of people. I remember Jeff. I used to see Jeff comment on my stuff like, "Oh, great show." I'm like, "Great show." He thinks my show is good. Like, and you don't, it's crazy. Like, you don't think about like people. And Jeff's away in Ohio. I'm like, I'm from New York. Like, what is the there's no connection there. And he's like, I like your show. I think, and he would always comment. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. That someone, even if it's just one person, it's like that's pretty cool. That someone takes their time to listen to regular Joe Schmo, who I have to take care of 2 kids and works a 9 to 5, but it's crazy, that, and it makes everything all worth it. At the end of the day, like you said, we're not getting paid yet for it. We're not getting money yet for it, but
it's coming.
It's definitely coming. It's in the works. Trust me. I'm making deals and all that. I'm putting in the work and it's just fun, man. It's become, like I said, it's something that became a hobby, kind of, became something that like I put investment in and putting in a studio, like it's just crazy. And like I said, to have you guys a part of this is definitely dope. So I'm looking forward to the future because I think this is going to be dope. And I'm really excited. Like I said, I put in, finishing off the site was. I had some sleepless nights, because I get very meticulous and I just want everything. I just wanted everything to go
absolutely
right. I just wanted the launch because that was my biggest stress.
It will.
Making sure everything goes. So
it's all going to go right.
Yeah.
It's crazy too. It's crazy too, though, Chris. I'm sorry, Edgar. Just real quick, just to speak to a point that you made, Chris. Like. Me, Rob, and Mo all live like 2 towns away from each other, right? And we've never even met.
Yeah,
like that's nuts. That through podcasting, like I've met 2 dudes that live like within driving distance of me.
Yeah, wow.
So
definitely the most wild thing so far is crazy.
Yeah, and another one, which I definitely had a huge shout out to Jeff. So Jeff. It was I don't know if you remember, it was a guy that was looking for a podcaster in the US. And you tagged me.
Yep.
We reached out, we did a podcast 2 weeks ago. And it's so crazy that someone from the UK wanted little old me from Virginia on their podcast. Cool. And it was amazing. And just how that happened. And I'm definitely appreciative of it. And you guys have gave me opportunities to reach out to other people as well. And I was on Steven's show, the other night, and explaining the process of opening the newspaper and how interesting
my wife got a kick out of that, by the way.
Back in those times they used to have newspapers.
What is that?
Jeff is the MVP.
That's basically how that segment went. Yeah.
Ultimately, Jeff turns out to be the MVP. Of this whole scenario because
he has all together.
100% because he brought us all together. Yeah.
Yes, right.
I linked with Rob, had no idea who Jeff was. Jeff commented on the shows me and Rob put out together on Rob's show. And then, Rob got me get my own show. And then Jeff, he's posting my content. And then Chris hits me up in a podcast page off of the Muscle of Joe saying, man, this is a great show. And me and Chris, it took like a month for us to link up. And then ultimately, so because of the startup of Jeff kind of boosting me and Rob's, I guess you could say ego and saying, man, y'all are great, keep going. And then, it took a while. I want to say a long while for me to finally link up with Jeff. This is the second time I've done a show with Jeff when he's been the nucleus of kind of all of us being able to get together. Yeah. So I want to say, as much as he loves it, I know he loves it. He got that big smile on his face. Jeff is the MVP in my eyes because ultimately he's got a lot of us together right now. And having private conversations through text message and things like that of getting this network started. Jeff is a guy whose ideas are racing on a consistent basis. Right. I've been able to FaceTime Chris and Jeff to talk the network while Jeff is driving, at work, So just to know that Jeff has put in, allegedly. I'm sorry, but
No
just
evidence.
to know that Jeff has put in a grind to really get all of us together has been great. You know, Rob knows Jeff through another way, and for me to be able to meet Jeff and just know that I'm surrounded by nothing but great guys, and we all praise each other's success. There's no hate. If I have a big guest and you guys go bigger, it's not a hate. I'm not like, oh man, his show was bigger than mine. What it is, it's not competition. It's like, you know what? I've hit up everybody personally, from Rob to Couch to Jeff to Chris to Steven, like, hey, what do you do to get these guys, bro? We're all in the same group chat, and I've hit all of y'all up. Like, how are you able to bag these guys? Chris, Rob, you guys have all bagged big time guys, and so have I. But it's still like it's a wanting to grow.
Right.
Motivation.
And then another point for Jeff. Jeff linked me with Rob, and it's funny. Me and Rob, and when I talk about instant chemistry,
I knew it would be perfect.
it was so crazy. Like, it's so crazy, like how the response we got from the first episode we did, and I'm like, because I do the Sunday sit down at that time, and I might get like 300, 400 views here a day. Me and Rob had over 1,000 views.
You guys are pushing.
And I was like, and when I was done, I was like, holy cow, this was great.
Yeah.
Like, we just, and even, and that tripped me out. I was like, that's like instant chemistry, like no other, like, as far as like that instantly. I was like, wow, the future's bright.
Yeah, because we did that episode. That was my first time talking with another Washington fan, in depth like that. And when I got done, my wife asked me, she said, "How was it?" I was like, "I just talked to somebody about Washington football for nearly 2 hours. Did not feel anywhere near 2 hours long. Like, it was dope. It was so much fun. We've got to do 2 or 3 more episodes after that, and hopefully, there's a season we can keep doing what we plan on. We're planning on doing, this coming up season. But it's definitely gonna be big.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, for sure. Edgar, what'd you have to say?
No, I was just gonna give a quick score update. I mean,
Please
you
do.
guys are probably gonna be a bit surprised. There's one NBA game going on. The Clippers and the Nets. The Nets are doing pretty good right now. They're
And that's
blasting
Kawhi,
the
with
Clippers.
Kawhi back,
and
too.
Kawhi's
Yeah,
playing.
no PG though.
No
No PG, but Kawhi's playing, and then the Nets were up 21 just a few minutes ago.
And the Rockets are almost up 20 on the Kings right now, by the way.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the Nets were hitting threes like crazy just now.
Yikes.
Yeah. All right, so that's a nice segue. So
Wow.
Great play. Good job, Edgar.
We'll segue right into the bubble, talking about
What a day.
Obviously, what a day! The Pelicans and the Kings were eliminated. Obviously, the Pelicans. The NBA kind of wanted the Pelicans to get that 8 seed, and the Pelicans decided, nah, we don't want it. We don't want it, and they're definitely.
We're good.
I don't know about you guys, but they're definitely the most disappointing team, in the bubble for me, because
absolutely.
As far as effort.
I don't know if they. I think I had Memphis continuing to be the 8 seed and winning and eventually taking over, and outright winning the 8 seed. But I thought the Pelicans would give more of a fight. To me, it falls a lot to me on Alvin Gentry.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's a great coach. I questioned him years ago. I don't understand why they keep retaining him, and I've heard rumors that he's on the hot seat because Lonzo Ball was trash in the bubble. He was garbage.
He was
Offensively.
averaging 5.8 points a game.
His offense is regressing.
Right.
With the guys around you, when you have Zion, JJ Redick, Brandon Ingram, True Holiday, your offense should be. You have so many, and these are open shots he's missing, and he's not even getting close. And he was awful offensively. He still made some nice passes. His passing is always going to be good. His defense is solid, but the offense, he's regressed offensively. As is bad. So the Pelicans overall just. Very disappointed. The Kings, we expected the Kings, not much from the Kings, but
history repeated.
You know, for you guys, who's the most disappointing team in the bubble?
I'd have to say, right now, based on the season they were having before everything shut down, you'd be surprised. I'd say the Lakers a little bit.
You're right. Yeah, that's another team.
Yeah.
That offense right now looks
They're bad.
It's not looking good right now. They look
they're bad.
They look like they're not trusting each other. They're not moving the ball well. A lot of dribbling. A lot of isos. It's not looking good. There's no. They're not fluent offensively. They're not
at
fluent.
all. Awful offensively right now, and they're not even averaging 100 points, right?
Nope.
I think they hit 100 the first time last game, right? Is that the first time they cracked 100?
Yeah,
That's
when they
crazy
played the
to think.
Pacers,
With a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you would think that they're averaging over 100 for sure. You know, Danny Green's a shooter. You know, Caldwell Pope can shoot, and they're struggling. You know,
They got that first win against the Clippers, and everybody thought, okay, you know, they're gonna show us something. And then the next couple of games, they just struggle, and it looks so weird. Like you say, they have LeBron, they have AD, but the ball is not moving, and they look like they're pressing on shots and stuff. It just looks weird to look at.
Yeah, like Quinn Cook was their second leading scorer last game against the Pacers.
You're in trouble.
TJ Warren dropped 39.
Kawhi Jr.
getting buckets.
He been getting bubbles.
Buckets.
Jordan, playoff TJ Warren. It's a tie. It's a tie. Right. Bubble TJ Warren.
Bro, but
that's like Olympic Melo.
Bro, my biggest thing.
Yes.
My biggest thing is I rock with Edgar on that. Is the Lakers have been disappointed, and whether after they beat the Clippers they don't care as much, and I understand they've locked the number 1 seed. That's all good. You got Portland. Like right now, it looks like you got Portland as your first round matchup. The weakest part of the Lakers is their guard play. I don't like the Lakers matchup against Houston. I don't like the Lakers matchup against Portland. I like them more against the Clippers and OKC because, bro, their guard play is terrible. And I understand LeBron James is a point guard. I understand that, but their guard play is terrible. LeBron's not guarding your point guard. Right now, you don't want to wear LeBron out. He's not going to guard your best player. But Dame Lillard and McCollum is going to kill Quinn Cook and Danny Green. Danny Green ain't hitting those shots.
Listen,
AD has been very...
He can't hit a shot from no.
Yeah, Danny Green not hitting those shots. KCP is very inconsistent. Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be, but Kuzma was supposed to be their third option. And he was soft. He was soft against the Pacers. Now he's been doing good overall in the bubble.
Overall, he's been killing it.
But Kuzma against the Pacers, he needed to step up with Quinn Cook being your second leading scorer. The Lakers ain't winning a damn series if Quinn Cook is the second leading scorer. So I agree with Edgar on the
Blazers. The Blazers in round 1. If it's the Blazers round 1, I'm not saying the Lakers are
gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
It's
tough though. Tough.
It's playing out of his mind.
Right.
They're going cold at the wrong time, like you said. People want to go into a series against the Trailblazers cold. That's the thing. You want to be able to. You want to have your offense center against a team like the Blazers. They're not playing around. And on top of that, the guard play, they got Dame and CJ, and they got back Yusuf Nurkic.
Nurkic is a problem on the boards.
That's a big X factor for them. Because
Melo.
Potentially, you can match up with a
and then Gary Trent.
Your boy Chris LeBron. Your boy Chris.
Ball
from Durham.
Balling.
Go boy in the building.
And listen,
I didn't hear him say anything about him before the bubble, though. I'm gonna need some evidence.
I've been on the Gary Trent.
I'm gonna need to see some evidence.
Duke boys. I see Chris post a lot. Look at them Duke boys balling. Look at them Duke boys balling.
They messed up.
Don't sleep on Melo too, because
Melo, man.
Yeah, Melo. Yes.
Melo likes to ball out when he plays against LeBron.
Oh,
yes. Good point.
Big time, 100%.
Yes.
And you being a big Knicks contributor is a simple fact. Bro, when the Knicks played the Heat back in the G, when Melo and LeBron was going against each other, Melo would go crazy against LeBron,
Yeah,
and
Denver
vice
Melo.
versa.
Denver Melo
They
will
couldn't
go-
guard each
Right.
other, but Melo steps up in the moments that matters. And,
Right.
Exactly.
bro, but the one thing I like with the Lakers against the Blazers is the simple fact, bro, with favoring the Lakers, the Blazers don't have nobody that can guard LeBron James, and I think that's going to be a factor in the series because the Rockets have somebody that can guard LeBron, the Clippers have somebody that can guard LeBron, and even the Mavericks. They have guys they can throw at LeBron where the Trailblazers don't
They
because
don't.
Trevor Ariza decided not to show up to the bubble.
Yeah.
That's
That
the
would've helped.
issue. That's gonna be the
Melo
issue.
Melo cannot guard LeBron now.
No.
Will he show up offensively? I think so.
Yeah, he'll match him offensively. Yeah,
but
defense.
defensively, they don't have
Defensively.
nobody that can guard LeBron, and LeBron will take over a series if you allow him. And
Yeah.
that's the only scary part is the
Right.
guard play of the Lakers is where they have the disadvantage versus the Blazers. But you have JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, and AD to guard that paint, and you have LeBron who nobody can guard. And whether you think he's the best player in the league, the second, third, whatever, LeBron is the top 5 player in the NBA. And if ultimately you don't have a guy that can slow him down, which they don't have, Melo can't even slow LeBron down now at this point in his career.
Right.
LeBron is going to go crazy, and if he has to go 40 points a game or 35 points a game to win that
He'll
series,
do
he
it.
will. But the only thing I'm afraid of is him having to go that crazy will be tough
In the
if they have to
first
meet
round.
the Rockets.
Right.
Exactly. If
Right.
they have to meet the Rockets in the second round, LeBron going to
round.
be tired, and if he has to go that crazy against
Exactly.
the Rockets, he damn sure going to be tired against the Clippers in the Western
Yeah.
Conference Finals. And that's
Finals.
my biggest fear with LeBron
Right.
and the Lakers is that he's going to have to go too stupid, too early for him to be able to sit
Yeah.
back and actually go crazy in the
Get some
Western
rest.
Conference Finals. He
Right.
is 35 years old. And it looked good with Memphis being in the 8th seed that,
Yo.
you know what, he'll be able to
They're
cruise.
so young.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
4-0,
right.
maybe
Yeah.
4-1, maybe Memphis steals a game. So
Now-
it looked good in the simple, but now that
Now,
man is
no.
going to have to play his butt
Portland is
off
on
for 3
fire.
series.
And think
Right.
And
They're on
Dame
fire.
just dropped 51 tonight. Dame just
Exactly.
come off of 51.
And they play yesterday.
Yeah.
play the second round. You play the second round against the Rockets, like you say. You got to go against PJ Tucker. You got to go against Covington. If
Yeah.
you beat
He's
them,
been
you
balling,
go
too.
against the Clippers. You go against
Yes.
Kawhi. You go against PG. Even Morris will
Trez.
guard him at times.
Trez.
Montrezl Harrell,
Trez
too.
put a hurting on him on one
Trez,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
One game this year, and that's all you need out of him is one good game
Game,
against
right.
the Lakers with him holding AD. That could be the series because he did
Right.
it once this regular season already.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because
the
playoff
Lakers-
LeBron is nothing to mess with. But a 35-year-old playoff LeBron is
We
different.
haven't seen
having
it
to
yet.
go.
We got
And that's a-
yeah,
and that's
just
a
say,
point-
having to
right.
go- yeah, having to go
Right.
that hard in the first
Having to
round.
go- right.
Because if
It's
they
gonna
do
be
end
a-
up playing
right.
Portland. He's gonna have to go off all 3 rounds, which
Right.
And he's gonna have to
in the
guard.
East. He was able to do that because the competition was far less. He
Detroit.
was, a few years younger. Exactly.
Playing Detroit Pistons.
A young
Right.
Celtics team, but having to do that against potentially Portland, Houston, and then
And
the
the
Clippers back to back
Clippers.
to back, it's gonna be
Right.
tough.
This is a gauntlet. Right.
Yeah, even OKC, even if they go up against OKC with their
Yes,
3-guard
three
lineup
guard,
with that
yes.
with that one of the most
OKC.
clutch rotations
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
entire NBA.
No easy
Yes.
matchup in the
And
West.
Right.
It's not like OKC doesn't have bodies to throw at LeBron. They have Gallinari. They have
Gallinari.
Diallo.
Shit, give,
Grant.
yeah, Diallo, Jeremy
Diallo.
Grant, yeah.
You can throw those bodies at him.
Right.
You
You
can
can
throw it in.
LeBron will kill the
Roberson.
OKC bodies though. Stop it. Like
Yeah, no,
LeBron
for
will
real.
kill
I mean,
and-
solid
He'll kill
solid
those
guys.
bodies. But
Yeah.
the Clippers have bodies with Kawhi, PG,
Capable
Trez,
bodies.
Pat
A
Bev,
lot of it.
exactly.
And then even Jermichael Green.
Michael Green, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
and it's
so-
one of the things where, right.
Those
Michael
teams,
Green's solid lately.
Right.
the Clippers. I mean, the Blazers don't have bodies to throw at LeBron.
They
They
don't.
do have bodies
They're
to throw at
stars,
AD,
though. They're
and I
stars.
understand. AD will kill Nurkic.
They don't even got bodies for AD.
But-
They
Whoa,
don't.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Have you seen Nurkic play?
Stop it right now. AD
Dude.
will kill Nurkic,
Yeah.
but they have Nurkic.
Not necessarily.
Y'all are talking crazy.
Maybe stab, maybe hurt an organ, but I don't know about killing them.
Nurkic is becoming.
He might get stabbed him and cause a little structural damage, but I don't know about killing him.
They don't
Murder.
throw
But they
Nurkic.
have Nurkic, Zach Collins, and Hassan Whiteside.
None
That's
of those
when you
dudes
say-
are going to the perimeter. None of those dudes are going to the perimeter on
but-
KD
but-
or
but
AD.
just-
Excuse me.
But they
not
also
going
could get AD in foul trouble, and that's the thing. They could go to the
They're
paint
gonna
and
make
get him
it
in foul
hard for
trouble.
AD. That's
So
Make it hard for AD,
defensively,
yeah.
defensively,
He ain't even gonna be
AD
checking those dudes.
Whoa.
He's not gonna be. They.
Who he
That's why they got
going?
JaVale.
Carmelo?
Sure.
Guys, right now though, we're not talking
Melo
about
going
Denver.
Olympic Melo on the Lakers if AD guard them.
AD
Melo
ain't
going
guard.
Olympic
AD ain't
Melo
guarding
on
a 300-pound center though. He ain't guarding no 300-pound center. That's why you got JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard.
Bro,
Take their
all-
play.
but that makes it
On the
tough.
bench.
But that's where it makes it tough is if AD
That's
not
true.
guarding them.
And
the
Carmelo ain't
Blazers-
checking AD.
The Blazers are gonna go small in that instance, though. You gonna have Dame Lillard, Trent Jr. who's shooting out of his mind.
Ooh.
McCollum, Melo, and either Zach Collins,
They're gonna kill
Nurkic,
him
or
with guard
Whiteside
play.
on the court. They're
gonna
gonna
kill
go
him with guard
small,
play.
and they're gonna run the Lakers out the gym. We can't expect LeBron to be running up and down the court.
LeBron's not
a
guarding.
whole
Stop making it all
game.
about LeBron, dude. It's AD. AD is like for that matchup. That's where AD's got to show up. AD's got
And
to
if
kill
he,
whoever's on him.
if he doesn't,
Yeah, it's over.
which he should, but if he doesn't, it's gonna be all on LeBron. So to ask in the first round for it to be all on LeBron, that's unrealistic. That shouldn't happen. The Lakers got the 1 seed, and I understand home court advantage. There's none, but the Lakers got the 1 seed to ultimately get the easiest matchup for LeBron James. Right
Right.
now, they may be matching up
LeBron
with Portland. Yeah,
But-
yeah,
but
100%.
you're right.
100%. It's
But-
about LeBron.
Of course, because the blame is gonna go to him regardless of what happens. And that's par for the course. When you are a generational player like him, you are going to get this. You're going to get it, and that's perfectly fine. But he knows that comes with the territory. If this team loses in this playoff, it's all going to be on him, regardless. Even if he didn't quote unquote have as far as like if someone missed a game winning shot, it's still going to be his fault.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I don't
it's
think
fair.
anybody's gonna argue that one. I don't think
Right.
anybody's gonna be arguing.
We're not
that.
even talking about Denver right now either, because what if in some
Denver,
second
too, man.
round
True,
matchup,
right.
they face
Michael
Denver,
Porter is playing.
Yes, he's a wild card. He's the biggest wild card that they got.
Jokic,
Murray bowled out last game against
And they're back,
Utah. The
yep.
Utah game. He went toe to toe with Donovan Mitchell.
That was
Right.
an outstanding.
That was an outstanding game. That was
Instant
a
bubble
classic.
But you know, that same night, that Milwaukee Dallas
Dallas,
game was an
yes.
instant bubble classic. That same
An instant bubble classic.
and for
and-
couch coach, your guy Luka Doncic to hit him with that
Luka.
in between the legs
I'm
pass
about
for
to
the
say-
goal.
That
Yeah,
was-
what?
That wasn't even his best pass.
That's right,
That wasn't
right.
even his best pass.
Best pass.
Hey,
Luka
hey,
went absolutely.
And this man was born in 1999, folks. 1999.
That dude
19
is
assists?
averaging a triple double in the
triple
bubble
double.
right
Bubble, right.
Luka's
speaking of
going
Luka,
crazy.
Let me ask you a quick question. Not to get off track, but if you have to start a franchise with one player, is it Luka Doncic?
So what I would say it depends on the second
Depends on-
banana.
right.
It depends on the second banana because right now for Dallas, my biggest gripe about them is how KP looks like a completely different dude when Luka's in the game. You take Luka out, KP goes off. He doesn't know what to do when he plays next
Right.
to Luka. But I would flirt with that idea of taking him. But if I'm picking a dude off the get, I would probably get someone who's a good two-way guy, right? Like a Jason Tatum, you know.
I don't know, Luka.
Oh, Luka.
I don't care
Yeah.
about the defense. Fuck that.
So
Like-
time out. So you're
Jason
asking.
gonna give you buckets too, though.
So time out. The basis of your question, what I want to understand is, if we could start a franchise with a guy right now, would it be Luka?
Would you take Luka if you had to? If Luka's there, would
field.
you take Luka? Oh, like first pick a franchise, you got a franchise. You take Luka off the back because
No,
I think
no.
No, it's tempting.
Not to start a franchise. He's very tempting. But if I'm talking about starting a franchise
He's
right
on the
now,
board.
would I take Luka?
He's on a board.
He's on the board. He's a top 5 guy. If we're talking about everybody's a free
Right.
agent, we're gonna draft. But Luka, if I have the number 1 pick, Luka's not gonna be my guy. And because if we want to start him, I would even consider a guy like Kawhi Leonard over Luka right now, just because Kawhi Leonard's 28, 29 years old. If we're bringing age and we want to talk young guys,
How about
Then,
this
yeah.
young guy?
Luka?
Yeah, we're
Let's
doing
be
young
fair.
guys. Yeah, if it's
If
young
we're-
guys.
So
Like
if
I
it's
did,
young
I did
guys-
my own list. Like you guys saw, I
Luka.
did my own
That's what I thought.
25.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
25 under 25.
Yeah, it would be
years old.
Luca. Yeah, because
I
at
had Luka.
21.
Luka was my top guy. So
I'm not
out
gonna
of all the
lie.
young guys,
Nah.
at
Jason
25
Tatum. Jason
Jason Tatum is
Tatum
good.
real
My
tempting.
boy. My boy.
Jason
Yeah.
Tatum
Don't get
is
me
real
wrong. I
tempting. in
love
that.
Jason Tatum, but Luka,
Jason Tatum,
Dude,
yeah.
he's
But
a dude.
everything on offense. Like Jason Tatum's a bucket. He give you a bucket, but
And to give you
Luka
defense.
does everything.
thing.
Everything.
But
And he's
But-
21.
yeah, now that is but so was Jason. Jason Tatum's what 22?
Luka,
Right.
He's 22.
his playmaking is
He's
ridiculous.
light. You're right.
I like
He can shoot it from
Tatum, but
anywhere.
But if you're building around a dude, right, like there's more apparent weaknesses in Luka's game.
Yeah, but that's
Then-
being nitpicking, though. If you to be honest,
No,
That's
I
but
nitpicking
if you're
in a
asking me,
way.
that's what I'm telling you. If you're
This
asking me,
dude
that's
just
what I'm
dropped
telling you.
35, 20, and what?
Oh, I know.
Like,
Oh,
But
I
but
feel
you can
people
always
nitpick with Luka too much. Like,
Right.
I know he's
With the
slow
Luka.
and-
right, and like we was like, and I was telling with Steven the other night. I remember people telling me he ain't clutch. He 21 years old. Like
He's
he ain't even
21,
in a
dude.
position.
Yeah.
Like to be even be clutch.
Second year in the league.
Right. Like
Second
how
year
can
he
you-
was an all-star. And
right. That's like you getting mad at a baby that can't walk but don't even know how to crawl.
Second year.
Which comes with complications later. If
Oh
your baby-
God,
if
really?
If your baby walking before they crawling, typically they come with complications later. I'm just saying. So,
But-
so if we're
right.
gonna use that, then
But-
Luka, if this is the best he's gonna be, let's just hypothetically, if this is the best Luka is gonna be, I want to say, and now I understand it's off the wall, off
This
the
is
wall.
pretty good.
whatever.
I'll take it though. If
Jason
it's
Tatum.
He's
But
an
Jason
MVP type
Tatum,
player.
if I compare Jason Tatum, he's 6'8", so his height is a little bit. He kind of reminds me a
much.
lot of Kobe Bryant. Like Jason Tatum has a lot of Kobe Bryant in him, and so to
Kobe
say
Tatum.
that I'm debating. Basically, I think Luka is a less athletic LeBron with him being able to do it all, and Jason Tatum is Kobe Bryant. So if I'm debating on whether I would take Kobe or LeBron in their prime, you're not going wrong either way. But Jason Tatum, Jason Tatum is great, bro.
But
He
yeah.
is great, bro. Like what he does, he is an absolute.
But Mo,
killer.
Boy, Mo.
Mo.
He's
Yeah, I
gonna
got you.
lock up your best player. He's gonna lock up your best player, and he's still gonna drop 30. And ultimately, I understand, but that's what you have. If I pick Jason Tatum, I'm gonna get a point guard that can give me the assist. I don't need Jason Tatum to do it all. I can get buckets, lock up my best player, and I'm gonna grab the adequate point guard to handle the point guard position. We're measuring a point guard versus small forward. That's what we're measuring right now.
So Mo, so Mo, back to your argument. So if Luka could give me what he's giving me now, consistent for the next 15 years, you wouldn't take that?
Sure as heck would.
I don't
He
think
will win an MVP.
But if
Absolutely.
what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I wouldn't take that. I damn
I don't
sure
know about
if this
Jason
is
Tatum.
what.
I don't think Jason Tatum's gonna win MVP.
But if Jason Tatum hasn't hit his ceiling yet, which I don't think he did, I
Right.
think his prime is gonna fold and it come in his 25 to 31 years old. That's gonna be his prime. If Jason Tatum is balling like this and he's not in his prime, I'm gonna take Jason Tatum because ultimately you don't know if Jason Tatum becomes better and he's not in his prime right now. I'm gonna take Jason Tatum because Luka Doncic, I don't think he's gonna get any better than what he's giving you
but
right
you
now.
can say the same.
The
thing
Yeah,
only-
but that's
about
triple
You say anything
double,
for right, but you can say the same thing for Jason Tatum.
Look
George,
at
go,
Luka's
George.
First
Let's
season,
see you.
the jump from his first season to now, and he
Crazy.
leads the league in triple doubles. I think he has 17 triple
16
doubles
or
now.
I think it's 16 or 17. Yeah.
16 or 17. That nobody thought he was gonna take that leap in his second year.
I mean, he was
That's
close to it
insane.
his first season, though. I mean,
But
he
He
was.
was tremendous
how-
as a rookie. He came
Yeah.
So
in
what
off
are
the
you
bat,
what
like,
are you expecting from Luka 5 years from now? Like if this is his numbers
He's going to
now,
be an MVP.
and you say okay, but you say he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. So what
can
is
still
the
get better.
He's
expectation?
only 21 though, Mo. He's only
Oh,
21.
I hear that, but
That's the
All right, hey, Mo.
ultimately,
Hey, Mo.
ultimately, what are you expecting if he hasn't hit his ceiling yet? If he hit his ceiling and he keeps this ceiling for 10 years, 12 years, he's ultimately going to be an MVP. But if he hasn't hit his ceiling yet, what are your
I
projected
think-
numbers from him 5 years from now?
Well, he probably can. He can potentially average a triple double his
Yeah,
whole entire career
9, and
consistently, and we're not right. And we're talking right.
At the triple
Well, hey,
double,
Mo.
He literally can.
So I'm on Team Tatum, but I will say
love
I'm taking my
Jason Tatum.
I'm taking my bias hat off, right? I'm taking my bias hat off. Luka is only shooting 30% from deep and only 75% from the stripe. Like prime Luka is probably going to be somewhere in that like 35 to 38% from deep and probably in like an 85% free throw shooter. So he's going to be even more efficient, which means more numbers. And I think he's got the body and the frame to be a better defender. I still take Tatum, but again, if I'm taking off my bias hat, there are areas for Luka to get better. And the efficiency, I think, is the biggest part of
But
that.
if he doesn't improve in that free throw and that 3-point shooting, he stays consistent. Then are you gonna take him over Tatum?
If he's like that now, okay, yes,
10 and 10.
30. Okay, we can cancel Thanksgiving, but if he gets better, we can cancel Christmas. Essentially.
Yeah.
Man,
Mo,
Steven,
I'm riding with you. I'm riding with you, bro.
I'm going Tatum just because I just
Two-way
see
ability. I love
there-
two-way ability.
and
That's
that
what I
two-way
value in a
ability
player.
is why people are arguing that Giannis is the best player in the league and not LeBron no more because LeBron's not the same killer two-way. That's the argument of why after Kawhi won the championship, he was the best player in the league. I'm not saying any of you guys felt that way, but that was the argument, was him being the best two-way player. But we're in an era where, like, two-way player, can you shut down the best guy and still give me 30? That's who's going to be the most effective. And I think 4 or 5 years from now, that's where Jason Tatum's ceiling will be. It's already there now. He can give you 30, guard your best defender. But I don't think Luka can guard your best offensive player.
No.
Bro, he's great. He's a great player at 21 years old. But the one thing that I don't think Luka can improve on is his athleticism. He's not that athletic. He knows how to get to his spots. He's more of a Mr. Fundamental, but you have to be worried about that.
No,
These
James Harden
athletes
isn't
are
that
getting,
super athletic.
but these
James Harden
athletes
is-
are
Ooh, I
getting,
don't know about that, Chris. I don't know about that.
these athletes are
but-
getting
He's
more
not
and more
godly
athletic.
I
but
mean,
they're getting more
he's
and
more
more
athletic
athletic.
than Luka.
Yeah, like
You
to
think
compare
James
to,
Harden's flying
they're
through the
getting
air?
more and more athletic
Yes.
as we see
Luka
18,
can get
19
more
year olds
athletic
come in the
too.
league.
Like, you can't say
No,
Right.
it's hard to say
You
that.
don't
Like,
just get more athletic, bro. Like you really
Yeah, you
don't, bro.
can.
Like
Yes, you can.
Really,
He
for the
can
most-
tone
And-
down.
And he has a great coach in Rick Carlisle. So I'm not saying that he's going to be like this, athletic specimen overnight. But with coaching, and he has a great coach, it's possible. It's
So does
extremely
Tatum.
possible.
I'm not
Right,
saying it's
right.
impossible.
his playmaking, Lucas.
I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Mo. It ain't like a situation. I get it.
I get what y'all saying with Luka. Don't get me wrong. It almost seems like I'm bashing Luka, so I don't want to come off like I'm bashing Luka. Because Luka is great at 21 years old for a guy to be this
Wholeheartedly
great at
agree.
21. I'm gonna be honest. I said something that people looked at me crazy. Luka at 21 is better than LeBron James was at 21 years old. 100% is not to
He
argue.
also played professional basketball.
I mean-
I think people forget about that aspect. He's like,
Yeah.
bro,
Right,
he
and
played
that's the thing,
pro-
too.
He played professional basketball in a high level. And
And we-
Barcelona, right? I
And
think
we
it was
talked.
Barcelona.
Yeah, we talked about that. Right, and that's what Steven was saying. He was playing as a teenager, and you don't play.
They
You don't play in
do
that
that
league
over
as a
there, bro.
teenager.
They don't do that over there.
As a teenager, you don't play.
Yeah, they don't play teenagers over there.
I
You
don't
see
know,
all the
Rob.
kids that go overseas and
I
they
just-
play 10 minutes a game that want to play overseas for a year. You see, they don't play
Right.
minutes. Luka was
Yeah.
playing 10 minutes as a
Right.
teenager.
In this argument, Rob and Jeff been a little bit silent, so I want them to be the deal breakers. Rob and Jeff, who would, if you could, same question, who would you take? Jeff, I just want to hear Jeff, because Jeff be real knowledgeable and pull out some numbers that I
Hey,
ain't even think
here we go.
about. So go
Here
ahead.
comes that Tatum vote now. Here comes
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Tatum
yeah.
vote now.
All right, no.
I have
Luka.
a great time.
I
was
see
like
you, Mo.
prepared for this.
Put that 7-7 in the L.
There's no way I could have prepared for this question except for just what I've watched. I do like both. They're totally different guys. I think
True.
the argument has become who do we think's better for their career, because if you're talking about building a franchise, like, yeah, no idea what, it's so hypothetical. But I'm a defensive guy, so I lean Tatum because, but in the same way, it takes zero away. What Luka's doing is amazing, I just
Wholeheartedly agree.
But I'm you guys touched on a minute ago. I get caught up and I've seen what Kawhi has done in the playoffs, and I've seen, if you want to go back, like, a guy always has to turn on that defense in the playoffs. So I'm probably looking at it from a playoff perspective instead of like a career perspective. So I might be wrong, because Luka's numbers are going to be. I think Coach is right. He's got every opportunity to average a triple double, even if it's just
He's close to it already. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Doing it in the bubble right now.
Which is
Doing it
amazing.
right,
So I'm
crazy.
probably caught up in thinking about playoffs. For being
With no
honest.
athleticism. With no athleticism, you guys are going to triple double. It's
Oh,
just
no, he
based on
Yeah, he got plenty of athleticism. That's at that size to
Rob,
He's
I
tough.
want to hear you.
So I'll start by saying this. The reason I've been quiet is, one, because I'm more of a football guy, hands down. I don't even pretend. And right now, I haven't really been paying close attention to the bubble, just because with Mo, our schedule coming up, and trying to like you said, balance this time with the family. But I will say this: the fact that Luka has been playing professional basketball since he was, I think, 15 years old, and out in Europe, there are no bums.
I think since 7.
Is-
I think he's been playing pro ball since he was 7.
Probably.
I've been playing since I was 5. I've been a professional podcaster since I was 5 years old.
I think he popped out and signed his contract. But the fact that he's been playing, I'm pretty sure it was 15 years old, gives him a distinct advantage in the fact that just it made his transition so much easier. We haven't seen him in the playoffs yet. We've seen Tatum in the playoffs twice already. He's averaging, I think, like 17 points per game in just the playoffs alone, which, I mean, is tremendous for a young player who's going to go up. I think ultimately Luka will have the better career. Luka will have the better solo career. I think Tatum will end up with more championships. Yeah.
The team's better, yeah.
I like that. I can take that with Rob, but ultimately what I'm saying is, like, so do we not? So since y'all mentioned triple doubles, right? Just solely triple doubles. Both the Chris's in the group decided to go on triple doubles. So I just have one question, and I know everybody's about to go crazy on this question. I just want to ask: is Russell Westbrook your guy? All time. I'm not talking about right now.
In this era, potentially, but not all time. No.
In this era, yeah, he's definitely top 5.
In this era, yeah.
I'm not a big guy.
Why is Westbrook not a top 5 point guard of all time? How not? He gets rebounds. He gives you
He's a better defender.
he gives you 20
top of my head,
Okay, so we got Magic Johnson, we got John Stockton,
I got Westbrook.
But before you,
Oscar Robertson.
I don't know if
Isaiah Thomas.
I don't know if Westbrook is, but look at it like this. I remember having about 5-6 years ago when Steph Curry started blowing up. Somebody asked if I was on watch one day, and we just got to talking basketball, and someone asked, "Who's the best point guard in the league right now?" And someone said Steph Curry. At the time, I looked and I said, "How? How is Steph Curry the best point guard? Okay, he's scoring so many blah blah blah. He shoots threes." I said, "Yeah, but that's not what a point guard is right now. A point guard is a pass." 2012, back in 2012, right before Steph Curry started, dropping all these threes, a point guard was primarily a facilitator.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, Chris Paul at the time was the best point guard in the league because he's a true point guard. Now, a point guard is, if you do have a true point guard, someone like Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, they're more scorers. The game is moving more towards, being able to create your own shots. Westbrook is able to do everything from past eras. He's a passer. He can get those assists. He averaged triple double for an entire season. He's averaging more than 10 assists per game, averaging more than 10 rebounds. Was it 3 years in a row?
3 years.
I thought it was 2. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah. So he's doing everything from the previous. Yeah, he's not getting those 20 assists per game. I mean, sometimes I think he has. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he's doing everything from all the different eras, at least the most recent eras of the NBA, in one point guard. He can score, he can pass, he can rebound, and he can take over games.
at
He's
an
not as
elite
consistent
level.
as some. Yeah, he's not as consistent as taking over games like someone like
No.
Steph is, but he
Dame.
takes over games.
Dame
Game
Lillard.
time.
Dame Lillard, yeah.
Game time.
But let's be
I take Dame over Russell Westbrook.
Dame.
Dame.
2 free throws. I love Dame Lillard to death. But they just
Oh,
missed-
you're gonna hang him up on that? You forgot last year, Mo?
No,
You forgot last year, Mo?
What I'm saying.
What have you done for me lately, Dame
In
Lillard?
this argument, the reason why I'm gonna say, bro, why Westbrook has to be considered a top 5 point guard is because of all time, we're gonna measure what a point guard has been up to this point. And so right now, a point guard, Steph Curry is more of a shooting guard, but he's too small to be a shooting guard. You'll James Harden,
That's not necessarily true, though.
but that's 100% true.
Bro, you have
Nah.
Russell Westbrook ranked ahead of Steph Curry all time.
As a point guard, yes. As a point guard, yes.
Historically, what has a point guard been historically?
Historically, if I'm gonna take the true definition of a point guard, I'm gonna take Russell Westbrook. Now, if I'm just looking at the very
traditional.
Yeah, because this era isn't gonna be judged by that.
so if you forget about the traditional point guard,
You would rank Russell
Okay.
Westbrook ahead of Curry
so
all time.
look. So here's my thing. So if you take away the traditional point guard era in that aspect, Steph Curry is better than John Stockton 100%. If we take out the tradition,
Take him on John Stockton too. I would definitely take him on John Stockton. No matter what you're talking about.
so
know,
Steph Curry is who on your list?
No, not the assist leader.
And still leader, coach.
It's right, assist leader. We talk about 2000s point guards, not this era. We gotta keep it this era.
We're talking about all time assistant. That's just
Oh, if we're talking accolades, then yeah, then Steph's got him over.
Curry is a two-time
Yeah.
MVP, 3-time world champion. He should have a
Champion.
finals MVP.
First ever
No
unanimous.
finals MVP.
No,
Oh boy!
Stop giving it. No.
Oh, don't do that.
How many does John Stockton have? How many does John Stockton have?
How are you?
But honestly, okay, Mo,
How are you?
but you know,
unanimous?
but you want to know why? Because your boy LeBron James, who's LeBron stopper? Andre Iguodala. If it weren't for LeBron James, the Curry would actually would have won the Finals MVP, and he won. Let's go. If it,
Let me get Edgar. I want to hit it.
Yeah, let's get
I think it's crazy the fact that people bring the whole Steph Curry because he doesn't have a final, which he got robbed of because the fact that they think Andre is going to stop LeBron James when LeBron James went
right.
Thank you.
Kevin Love and no Kyrie Irving, they were up in that series.
He held
2-1.
LeBron to
The
30.
fact that
Right.
held him to 39.
bring that up, he held him to 35, 10, and he had the triple double. Yet they stopped him and they robbed and
Right.
Mo, who bring up the they don't have a
Right.
finals MVP.
Wait,
He did
quick,
stop
though.
them. He did stop him. He didn't get a ring.
real quick
They
though,
stopped
y'all tried to put it on me. Like I'm arguing that Iguodala deserved. No. Y'all trying to turn it on me like LeBron James deserved the finals MVP. He actually was. Bro, he was highly considered.
LeBron.
LeBron was about to.
Right.
That's my point. It's not because if Steph Curry, no, it's not because.
Really.
Listen, both of you Chris's are trying to turn it on me. The Chris's are trying to turn it on me like I tried to turn on LeBron James. Listen. If Steph Curry had performed in that finals the way that he should have, he would have won Finals MVP. Iguodala got it
Because he had
LeBron.
we know that for a fact. But come on now, he didn't hold him, but we know what that means.
Averaged up 35 points.
They lost though.
Mo, Mo, dude, I love you, bro. Where you going with this? Because you brought up Steph Curry as being like a better point guard than somebody, and now you're saying that he didn't show up in the finals.
How did we get here?
Showed up as unanimous MVP in the finals, he would have won the Finals MVP. Iguodala, 100%. I'm not saying Iguodala is better than Steph Curry, so don't quote me on that. But what I'm saying is that if definition of a point guard, a guy who averages a triple-double on multiple seasons, he won a triple-double, won the MVP. He got a triple-double, then won the MVP the next year, and he also averaged a triple-double last year. Russell Westbrook is the guy. Like, because we want to say take away the old school mentality of what a point guard is. So we want to only hold Steph Curry to what benefits him when Westbrook, like Rob said, in any era, Westbrook meets the criteria of being a great point guard. Rob said it best.
Yeah,
you want to take
we're
up
not saying he's not a great point guard.
Right.
but
That's true.
But to say that he's not a top 5 point guard of all time, so you're saying you'll take Curry over Stockton, but you would take Stockton over Westbrook? Stop it! Stop it! You guys all
Okay.
just said you
No,
take Stockton over Westbrook.
No, because what's going to
You just said
happen?
it. You
Because
just said it.
what's going to happen, and this is going to be the case, and it's going to be so sad for Chris Paul, because he's going to be going against these guys in this era, and we're going to really, like, a lot of people, they're going to have this type of conversation, be like, well, Chris Paul didn't do much.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the problem where but I'm saying, but he's not like Russ and them. But if you look, I'm talking about people who 20 years down the line they never seen Chris Paul play.
That's a good point.
Because you're gonna look at him and be like, oh, he's like a 90s, like he would be probably one of the best guards from the 90s.
Yep.
If you look at theoretical now, I mean, I'm talking about people who won't see Chris Paul in live action.
Right.
They'll see
20 years
the
from now.
highlights.
Well, hey,
Right.
Coach,
What about you,
real
Edgar?
quick.
Talk to me, Edgar.
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
How
Edgar.
you feel
Sorry,
about
man.
this?
I was gonna throw in a surprise name in there. Top
Uh-oh.
50 player of all time, Clyde Frazier.
Not Chris Paul.
Yeah, true.
You guys
That's a
ranked him.
champ.
He
Yeah,
played.
not-
He got
not
more
a
rings
point,
than
but yeah.
Stockton. He got more rings than Stockton.
he won a championship. He played defense,
Stockton played 20 years and got all them assists. Of course he's gonna have
And,
them.
and he's a New York Knick.
and he's very slept on. He's very slept
He
on.
is slept on. They
Very
put more
top
respect
50
on
player.
Clyde's name.
Yeah, I'm glad the two Knicks fans are sitting.
I share a birthday with him, so I kind of like him. But yeah,
No, but Clyde needs more
stop
love.
it.
Good enough.
I share a
Stevens.
birthday with him, man. Come on.
Who,
No?
man, look, I don't share a birthday with any of these guys, but it
I
doesn't
share a
matter.
birthday with Mike Tyson. Top that.
Actually,
Taylor. Lawrence
are
Taylor.
we
Dad
doing
can beat
this?
up your dad. No.
So mine's Lou Williams, Andrew Bynum,
How did we get
and
to
me
birthdays?
and me and Brady Quinn were born on the same day, and Kelly Osbourne.
Oh,
Hey,
Kelly,
you're the best quarterback out of that group.
I know, right?
Thank you.
That's what's
Man. It's it's a lot. The last two things we debated is very debatable as far as who we take, Luka or Jason Tatum or Russell Westbrook.
That was a ball of yarn there. That whole
Yeah.
player thing.
We rolled
was a
that
ball of
out,
yarn.
and it was a knock 'em out, drag 'em out. I think Steph Curry, the people that when people bring up the whole no MVPs finals, I think he averaged 26, 6, and 6 in that finals. If there was anyone on that Warriors team that should have got it, it should have been him, not Iguodala, who, like I said, they were going to give it. They wanted to give it to LeBron James. So why the hell would you give it to Andre Iguodala if that's the case? He stopped LeBron James, quote unquote. I'll never understand that.
You don't
It's
stop. You don't
crazy.
stop.
He
somebody
contained
that's
them. He contained them.
averaging
He contained them ish.
You don't
Ish.
average
You can
35-point triple double and say you contained a man. That
You
man
can-
pooped
Well, let's
on you.
we have to have a politically correct term.
He didn't contain anybody. That man averaged a
Listen.
35-point triple double. He pooped
Exactly.
on you.
That's my point.
Even
That's my
even
point.
Jeff
He
Van Gundy was.
He had a
wondering
couple
that whole
clutch
time,
moments.
why can't LeBron get the MVP? Let's just break the rules. Yeah, his team lost, but give him the
He
finals.
should have.
MVP
Anyway,
anyways.
it should have been LeBron.
It's happened before though.
It's happened before. Jerry West did it.
Yeah.
You know? There's no way Andre Iguodala should have won Finals MVP because now people start saying, "Oh, is he a Hall of Famer now?" Like, really?
Right. I'm like, huh?
Are you
Russell
serious?
Westbrook is still a top 5 point guard of all time, no matter how you put it.
I mean, if we're living in your world, then I guess so. But
Yeah.
Oh.
I just don't see how you can have him ranked over Steph Curry all the time. Russell Westbrook
can't.
don't have a Finals MVP.
Still
in my-
lift
last
him
time I
more.
checked.
Because the
Still
only
lift
way
him
y'all
up.
have Steph Curry over him is because you take out the traditional point guard, which means you take out your John Stocktons and guys like that and put
No.
the modern
did
day
that.
point guard.
You did
No,
that.
y'all say the modern day point guard
gonna
is
start
Steph
making
Curry.
one.
Like
I'm
he's
just
the
saying-
modern day
I'm
The
just
point
era.
guard.
saying point guard.
Look at Jeff.
I'm just saying, the all time
Listen,
Curry right now has had a better career than than Russell Westbrook. He's a
100%.
two-time MVP, a three-time world champ, and that's why I think he's ranked ahead of
First
Russell
first
Westbrook.
ever unanimous.
It's not because the player. If we're talking about pure talent, I mean, we're not talking about the talent. I'm talking about
Chris.
you're putting everything into together. As of right now, Steph Curry is ranked ahead of Russell Westbrook.
Did he
all time.
deserve
It's a fact.
unanimous MVP the
Do
year
we
he
also
won unanimous?
Bro, he was a
Absolutely.
monster.
Hell yeah, he
Absolutely
did.
Do we also consider the impact?
He transcended the game.
He changed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't.
But he
hear it.
deserved unanimous?
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously,
Bro,
so.
he
He got it.
changed. How many players can you honestly say changed
They changed,
the
yeah.
game?
Steph changed the game. He did.
Inner Trey Young.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does
You
Trey
look
Young
at
have
all
a
these
career
kids coming up
without
right now.
Steph?
What are they trying to do? They're trying to jack threes
Shoot
from the logo.
threes.
Listen,
That's all they
before
want to do.
Steph-
Jack threes from the logo consistently.
Before
He changed.
Steph, nobody
He
was
changed
really
not
doing
only the
that.
position, the game.
Bro,
Yep.
Yes, he deserved unanimous.
he
MVP that
averaged.
year.
He averaged. All right, I'm looking up at his
Guys,
stats.
how
right
many
now.
here we
point
go.
guards? How many point guards are out there that you see running an offense while at the same time running off like 30 screens and shooting threes just like wet most of the time? Steph-
Yeah, he's not
Steph
dribbling
was
a hole
running-
on the floor. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
So transcending the game. Steph Curry was the first player to ever win a unanimous MVP. Did Jordan get one? Changed the game. Did Allen Iverson get one? Changed the game. Did LeBron James get one? Changed the game. Curry is the first person to deserve unanimous MVP.
We didn't say he was the first person to deserve it.
Right. It's
That's
just
not what we said.
It was just a year. It was just that
He
particular
was the
year.
first person to deserve it, but he
It's
did
voting,
deserve
you know how it
unanimous.
It was that year. It was that year that he had.
LeBron probably
And
deserved
everybody
one of
else, right.
Those Miami years, he deserved a unanimous. You know,
Right.
it's deserved, but it's the voting. The process is.
It's a vote. You're right. And it's
You're
petty.
always
And
gonna
it's kind of
have
it's pettiness. It's pettiness.
Yeah.
He averaged
Look at-
30 points per game while shooting 90% from the free throw line, shooting
That's crazy.
45% from three, 50% from the field. From a
Golly.
guard, a point guard who shoots
Right.
about
A shooting point guard.
Listen, LeBron would have gotten unanimous.
averaging two, led the league in steals.
But Carmelo got one vote. That
Oh,
one year.
yeah, you're right. Carmelo
That
took
was
the one
Chris's
vote from
fault,
LeBron.
though.
Yes, I voted for him.
Yeah,
He gave
That was
Chris a
Chris's
vote.
fault.
Melo was good that year. I can't front, so I had to vote for him. But listen, we could go over more about the whole Curry thing, but that's here or there. To me, Curry definitely ranked ahead Westbrook, but that's my opinion.
That's my
VP,
opinion as well.
My VP thinks different, and that's okay. We could think differently. He's wrong, but he can think differently. But
I got you, though. I'm doing some research, Mo.
I'm in here looking because
To be determined.
PowerPoint tomorrow, and we'll have that all ready. to go.
Yep.
All right,
Guys,
so
changing the subject real quick. Anybody interested in seeing Trailblazers and Clippers playoff series? Maybe in the second round or something by some
No.
miracle?
no, because
I
that
don't
means
think
LeBron James
that'll
loses in the
happen.
first
I'll
round.
be
No,
fine.
I
I'll be
wouldn't.
fine with that.
I don't wanna see it.
We're gonna go live right after that game,
You
and I
know,
want to see
maybe,
most.
Oh, I can't
Damian
wait.
Lillard and
Oh,
Pat
boy.
Beverly throwing some-
An hour of Mo saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm
LeBron,
sorry."
Nobody has
Everybody's
gotten
fault.
live. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this.
Ruined him.
Edgar, to respond to you saying that
Russell Westbrook's still the best player.
the
Mike is
interest-
Mike Brown fault.
But look, so to respond to Edgar saying a possible Portland versus
give me that,
Clippers second
please.
round, do I want to see that? Hell no! I don't want nobody to see me cry on live talking about LeBron James losing in the
Oh,
first
live
round.
for a
So
minute, half a
no,
minute.
I don't want to see
Oh,
that.
yes.
Because y'all are gonna send me the link and I'm not responding. No, sir, I'm not getting on this live. It's not happening. I'm not getting the LeBron slander. I don't want to see it.
Oh, we
You
waiting.
don't want to see.
Oh, we
you
wait
don't
for
wanna see
you.
it for the drama though. The Dame and Pat Beverly.
There's gonna be enough drama right
Yes.
after that show when we get Mo on live.
Are involved in it
Yep.
too.
No, because that means, you know what that means, Edgar? That means there's drama in my life. And that means you 6 guys that are on here on this live are going to mark that on August 9th that we talked about this and we're going to discuss it. No, that means there's drama in your guys' lives because that means you guys get to talk about on live.
can't
Me
wait.
jumping in the live.
I won't say a
crying.
word, Mo.
Oh,
won't-
Steven.
I won't
Oh,
say a word.
stop it.
By
Oh,
the
you
way-
know
Can't
what?
wait.
Everybody's gonna attack me if the Lakers lose to the
I'll just sit here.
Trailblazers.
I'll just sit here like this,
Guys.
man.
Guys, we have
an hour.
we have a real good game tomorrow. By the way, T.J. Warren against Jimmy Butler.
Oh.
Bubble
Ooh.
MVP.
Don't
Bubble
sleep on
MVP.
that one.
That's
Kawhi Jr.
That's if
Kawhi
Jimmy
Jr.
Butler decides to play. If Jimmy
If he
Butler
plays-
Oh, he said he's playing.
good, he
Kawhi.
better.
Remember
Oh,
when
yes.
last time?
He
Remember
better.
when-
Yes, the fight. Yes.
and
Oh
TJ
yeah,
Warren
oh yeah,
against
you're right.
Buckets.
Jimmy Butler. And,
I'm a grown man.
isn't
Get
it
your
crazy?
popcorn ready.
Ever since that moment, and like T.J. Warren was always a good player, like a solid player. But then
Yeah.
ever since that moment happened, you see T.J. Warren's game has gone like crazy since that moment.
He's the
Like,
It
best.
blew up in Orlando.
He
though.
called him trash. He was like, "Yo, you're trash. You're trash." And then
Jimmy
T.J. Warren,
Butler.
and then T.J. Warren has been crazy. ever
Crazy, right?
Even before-
The
even
bubble
before, like,
MVP.
even
bubble
before
MVP, right.
Like he was balling
Jimmy
after
Butler-
that, and then the bubble MVP. He's bubble MVP so far.
Jimmy Butler
time.
is a flat out dog. In
Oh,
this
for
matchup
sure.
tomorrow, if Jimmy Butler plays, which Edgar is informing me that he says he's gonna play, Jimmy Butler is gonna lock that man up. You thought that 16-point game that he had the other day was a disappointment? To him being on fire? Jimmy
Bro,
Butler
no, I'm
is
with-
gonna lock that man up. I'm sensing a 3 from 15 from the field, 4 to 5 fouls out of anger. Jimmy Butler is gonna lock TJ Warren
Yo,
up.
what's in that little thing you're smoking?
That man,
little
look,
pipe.
it's called
in that
Miami
thing, bro?
Heat. That's what I'm smoking. I'm smoking on that Miami
Whoa. The Olympic Clinic.
Heat. Look,
what
Jimmy
time is that
Butler.
game?
Jimmy Butler. I feel like Jimmy Butler sat out last game just because he knew. You know what?
When
I'm
the
a little
game's
shaky.
before.
I probably could play, but you know what? We got the Pacers. We got T.J. Warren.
T.J. Warren gonna give him 30. Gonna give him
You get the
30.
business.
Mo got so excited that he froze.
Like 30,
Right.
Man. All right, so
flip him over.
picking up where Mo left off, Jimmy Butler's gonna lock boy down, man. Jimmy Butler's gonna destroy TJ Warren.
Oh, yeah.
What if he doesn't?
Destroy.
Oh yeah, he gonna kill that man.
He gonna
Bro,
just
Jimmy Butler gonna
All right,
man, look,
over under 19 and a half points for T.J. Warren.
under.
Over. I'm going
Under.
over.
Under.
I'm going over. Over. Over.
Are you ranking what he did against Quinn Cook? Like, is that like him dropping 39 on Quinn Cook? Is
No.
why we're going over? This is Jimmy Buckets we talk about. Playoff Jimmy, he's gonna step up. He knows what he said last game. I'm a grown man. You not finna play me like that. Jimmy Butler finna lock him down.
Hey, bro. So
Bubble
Jimmy
MVP.
Butler.
Listen. For all we
Double
know,
MVP. That's all
for all we know, they both get tangled up and they get ejected for some dumb shit.
Which means he doesn't get 19 and a half points. Which means he
Bingo.
doesn't
Oh,
get 19
see,
and a half
see.
Bingo.
points.
Can't
Ultimately.
get 19 and a half points if you don't.
All right, if y'all, hey, let him get 20, then y'all can do whatever.
I hope he gets 18 and misses 2 free throws.
I
No.
hope he gets. I hope
Let him
he
get-
gets 20 on the buzzer beater.
Bro,
Oh,
you
okay.
guys are lucky. Besides
In Jimmy's
Steven and
face.
Rob, you guys are lucky that y'all are East Coast time, because I swear to God, if Jimmy Butler locks down TJ Warren, I would call for an all live meeting. But you guys are gonna
Wake
be asleep
'em
by
up,
the
rack
time
'em
the
out.
game is over.
Rack
But
'em
you know
out.
What time to gain them all? What time to gain them all?
5
9
o'clock
o'clock.
Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. So
Oh,
you
I
guys
got
gotta
time.
be asleep.
I got time.
11 o'clock? 11 o'clock? All right, hey.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
keep
back.
keep it
Coach ain't
past
got
midnight.
kids, man.
Hey, it'll be done
Coach,
before
we're gonna
then.
get it.
Point 20.
Remember them days.
It'll be done way before then when TJ
Yeah.
Warren.
That's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be a fire game, though.
I'm up
That-
until midnight, so let's go. If he get it, hey, I'll eat crow. It's all good.
Bro, Jimmy
I'm down.
Jimmy
already
Buckets
know.
beat the Timberwolves starters with bench players, bro. I'm just saying, like,
Dog.
if he's got an agenda, you don't want to be across from him, man. Like, you
And you-
just don't.
Dog.
You already
A
know you're gonna
dog.
get the sound. You're gonna get the sound bites from Jimmy too. You'll probably say some crazy stuff.
The whole game.
That's
The
why
whole
it's on
game.
tape delays,
Yeah.
whatever. They're gonna make sure
Right.
they get that out like crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
There's going to be a
Uh,
technical. I will guarantee there will be a technical call between
yeah,
one of
there's
those
gonna
two
be a-
boys.
Easily.
It's
I
gonna be
would
early
bet that.
too.
I would bet
It's gonna be
that.
early, and it's gonna be one of those that is not really warranted tech, but the refs are gonna know.
Yeah,
they're gonna
they
set
know
the tone and be like, "Hey, we're not playing."
They're going to talk about that matchup before the game, and I guarantee
Mm-hmm.
you, whoever gets the ball on the tip-off, the other team has a play drawn up for that
Yep.
matchup. Someone's gonna get
It'll be
posted
set the
up.
tone technical. It'll be a set the tone technical. It'll be either
Absolutely.
Jimmy going at
Yeah.
Warren head,
Absolutely.
or Warren hits a nice shot and goes at Jimmy's head. It's gonna be a set the tone for the rest of the game technical in the first round or in the first quarter. Ultimately, we're all on the same page that I'd be willing to bet that there's a tech in the first quarter between one of those guys.
And you know what? They got the Heat. They got Jay Crowder. This guy likes to instigate stuff too, so he might
Yup.
he might look to help out Jimmy here and there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean
Under
that's
19
gonna be
and a
fun.
half.
Under.
That's gonna be a fun
19.
matchup. It's definitely gonna be a
Over.
fun matchup.
Over.
So I'm looking
It'll be
forward
over.
to that game. That's gonna
But
be
it's gonna
that's
be
that,
under.
I'm gonna get my popcorn ready for that one, but
Absolutely.
that's gonna be fun for sure when TJ Warren drops 45 on Jimmy Butler. But
45
but
fouls? Is that what you
on
said?
the- on
45
the-
fouls?
on the last subject of the day, we're gonna switch to some football talk, and it has to do a lot with college football because obviously we all know there's a college football landscape.
Jeff, you okay?
My Big Ten people, they're kind of sad. Might not be Ohio State football. Obviously, the MAC. I believe the MAC conference had eliminated. There won't be football in the
Yeah,
MAC.
they
conference.
already
Correct.
They, they already.
They
If the
Yeah,
Mac's not
yesterday.
playing, then why are we even gonna play football then?
Yeah, and UConn. And
Really?
The MAC?
UConn. And UConn had decided that they're not playing football, which I thought they didn't play football.
That was a
already.
huge blow. Though.
Yeah, once again, who cares? That was a huge loss.
I'm like, this ain't UConn
college
moving basketball, but
And they were going to be independent anyway, so yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
first
and that's the
domino,
thing,
though,
but-
bro.
they might.
Yeah, that's
you
first
know,
domino.
You, you understand how bad
Right.
you have to be for the you understand how bad you have to be for I think the AAC to say,
Yeah.
hey, nah, we don't want you, dog.
They might be done. They might be.
You're
done
not up to par with us.
Right.
As bad as it is, but how do you guys feel about the possibility of the Big Ten football possibly, canceling? If the Big Ten canceled, to me, in my opinion, if
It's
the
everything.
Big Ten canceled, it's a wrap for everyone because the
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Ten is on par with the SEC. If those two conferences say they're not playing football,
Right.
then no one's playing college football. So,
There-
what's your guys' thoughts on that?
There's no way
Yes.
to describe what that means where I live. Like
Oh, you're
Yeah.
in Ohio.
It's
Yeah.
we live.
Devastating.
When I say we live for it, breathe for it, like I'm not exaggerating what it's like around here. It is it's devastating. We're all nervous. People are panicking. it's our lives, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For-
I have no concept of not having a Ohio State football. Like I have
For
Yeah.
people in Columbus, had Jesus not done some great things like heal leopard and heal the blind, Ohio State football would be it's literally Jesus and then Ohio State football right there.
100%. And Rob
I
knows.
believe you too. I believe
Rob
you,
was
too.
stationed in Columbus, Ohio, and I have a whole side of my family. My dad and his whole side of the family are from Columbus, Ohio. And so to be thinking that's why I'm a big time Ohio State fan. Love them, was born into it. But to think that there could be no Ohio State football, look, I'm gonna be honest. I love all my teams. I would have rather the NBA not come back. I'd rather the NFL tell me.
You
not
watch
play-
your mouth.
Listen,
Yes.
Not the
listen to me.
NFL.
Listen
Hold
to
up.
me. Listen
Man,
to me.
I
Listen to me.
think I need to think about it. Oh,
But listen
I'm-
to me for a second. Listen to me for a second. Jeff will feel me, and it's only solely me speaking as an Ohio State fan. As an Ohio State fan, if somebody told you, look, the NBA won't come back, the NFL won't play, but you'll be able to see Ohio State football.
I take it in a
Solely
second.
as an Ohio State fan, you will take Ohio
In a
State
second.
football. When I tell you that Ohio State fans ride or die, look, I shed a tear when we lost to Clemson last year, all right? Ohio State is really the only team that can make me shed a tear. I shed a tear on that interception when Justin Fields threw it against Clemson.
I don't know what
Bro,
you're talking about.
if the Big Ten is not playing,
tears of joy.
but yeah, whatever. Miami 2001, just say. But that's besides the point. If Ohio State is not playing, which means the Big Ten is not playing, then the Pac-12 already kind of said they'll follow suit. If the Big Ten decides not to play, the Pac-12 is not going to play.
Yep.
Which goes to Rob and his USC Trojans. Now, Rob might love his Redskins, the Washington football team. I
Hey.
apologize.
Hey,
More
hey,
than
can't
he
say that
loves. Yeah, my fault. More than he
Knock
loves
it off.
USC. But ultimately, that's going to be devastating for Rob to not watch USC for a season. That hurts, bro. You wake up on the weekend knowing
Right.
that Saturday college
Yeah.
football happens and Sunday NFL happens. So
Yeah.
you have a big weekend every weekend. So for there to be no college football, because if the Big Ten cancels and the Pac-12 follows suit, What makes you think the ACC, who has nobody worth watching other than Clemson, isn't going to follow suit?
No.
Coach, your team is coming. Was going to be coming this year.
They're about 2 years out, Coach.
They're coming.
No, next year.
So,
Yeah,
like I said,
they're coming.
Like I said, the ACC is a conference that has nobody worth watching other than Clemson. The SEC now they're probably the biggest conference when it comes to football, especially being located in the South. You know what I'm saying? They're the number one conference when it comes to football, but being in the South, football is religion. But to think
Pretty close.
that the SEC it's God and it's football in the South. You know, me being from Florida, I understand that more than anything. You have God, you have football. If you're in the state of Ohio, you have God, you have the Ohio State Buckeyes right here. If church was held on Saturday, Buckeyes fans would not be religious. That's 100% a fact. So therefore, if there's no college football, bro, I know there's gonna be an NFL. There's too much money invested, and I just think a lot of college players are willing to sit out and prepare for the NFL season because they're not getting paid. And I think me and Steven talked about it on our show the other day.
Yeah.
Is if these guys were getting paid, there'd be more incentive for them to risk their health to ultimately go out there and play football. But because there's no money besides a scholarship and a meal card to get 2 meals a day as a full ride scholarship athlete, I don't think they're willing to do it. Now, guys like Justin Fields is out there. You know, we seen a post today from him at practice. So they're willing to play, but ultimately if the Big Ten calls it quits, Pac-12 says they're going to follow suit, I can see the SEC, ACC, and Big 12 following suit and saying, you know what, maybe we'll suspend it because the MAC suspended their fall season and moved it to the spring. So I could see all these other conferences saying, we'll try and move it to the spring, and ultimately maybe there'll be a spring season, which will still hold a lot of weight for a lot of teams because guys like Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence, they're not playing in the spring when they have the NFL draft to get looking forward to and get prepared for. So whether they play now or play in the spring, it's not going to be as interesting. There's going to be a lot more guys sitting out. And who's to say they start? Like Steven said it best. They may start. I don't believe they'll finish. That was coming out of Steven's mouth because they may play that first game and they may come back. And the team they played had 21 cases of coronavirus, and now that team has to quarantine for 2 weeks. So that's 2 games they missed. So ultimately, I'm not really holding hopes on college football, but I do think there'll be an NFL season because there's too much money to be lost from players, from owners and managers and things like that, from these companies, Pepsi and all these beer companies that are sponsoring the NFL. Yeah. They may not make as much money because they won't put fans in the stands, but they will make that money on TV ratings because everybody and their mama gonna be watching the games on Sunday if the NFL does play.
Can you imagine a Super Bowl with no fans?
It won't be one.
That's weird.
So
I couldn't imagine, but I could ultimately imagine no fans, but you have millions of people watching on TV. So I could imagine if they finish the season.
And
some money is better than no money, though.
Exactly.
And my thing is this: I don't think we're gonna have a season. And to be honest with you, it's one of those things where I've had to really realize the reality and actually realize what's going on. I remember in February, they were talking about, oh, we're going to cancel the Olympics. And I'm like, there's no way in hell you're going to cancel the Olympics. And I'm laughing. And in typical American ignorance, I was laughing like for 20 minutes. Like, there's no way. Yep. The NCAA tournament was the same way. And college football is another one. I am a devout University of North Carolina Tar Heel football team that is preseason ranked 17. Don't give me that look, Chris. We'll beat y'all this year finally. But anyway, so to me, it's a crushing blow. I mean, especially for a team that's on the rise and also has the number 2 recruiting class in the class of 2021. This could affect our rankings going forward. So this was supposed to be a banner year for us. And, you know, this would have been an opportunity. I think we could have played Clemson in the conference championships, and maybe had a date with Ohio State potentially or what have you. But, you know. Yes. In the college football playoff, yes. If we would have beat Clemson, we almost beat Clemson last year.
Yep.
And now, yes.
The Tar Heels making it to the college football
playoff. Yes.
I'll run live naked if y'all make it to the college
football playoff. I'll close my eyes.
Book it. Evergreen.
I'll share it, but I won't watch it.
But y'all make it to the college college football playoffs in the next 3 years, I'll run live naked.
Oh well, 3 straight years you're gonna be running.
Hey,
I wouldn't do that.
Ohio State
With
fans.
OTB in spray painted across my chest, I will be representing the network,
Boy, you're
running
digging a
across
hole.
the street butt naked. It's not gonna
Well,
happen.
Mo, you'll be walking down the street with orange nipples because it's gonna happen.
A lot can happen
Well, hey.
in 3 years.
I want to say real quick. You know, Mo, you brought up that we talked about this on your show. As someone who loves sports, right? I love sports. I love it as much as the next person. Obviously, I love it enough to, you know, launch a website to cover it and bring people on, right? That being said, as much as a blow as it would be to lose college sports, I think the NCAA canceling the season would be the right thing to do in the current climate of the nation right now.
I think I agree with you.
Because
It would be the right thing. We just don't want to
right
see
thing
it.
to do.
no, right, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think that this is exposing an ugly thing about the NCAA, that these athletes aren't getting paid, right? Because imagine this. Imagine they do start, which I still think that they will to some level, because there's a lot of money to be made. Some money is better than no money. I think these people are stubborn. They will, even with other Power 5 conferences canceling, someone will find a way to start something new, because there's a lot of money to be lost. But I think if the NCAA took 6 months to say, you know what, we want to examine, you know, coming back in 6 months to where maybe we can, everyone gets like $40,000 a year because they make that money. Like they can cover that easy, right? It's covering a lot of ugly truth, because if these players do cancel, or I'm sorry, if the season does start, imagine an unpaid athlete traveling from the state of Florida to the state of Texas. They have tested negative against the coronavirus. They don't have it in the state of Florida, which is where they're based out of. Then they go to Texas, and then it turns out, yeah, they do have the coronavirus. What do they do with that unpaid student athlete with no money to their name based off of their agreement that they have with the NCAA, right? Because they're the only students that can't go to school and work at the same time. Like they can't get paid. So you're traveling from Florida to Texas, Arizona to Washington,
Right.
Michigan to Pennsylvania, and you're not paid. How do you justify that with these athletes? There's a lot.
It's
It's dangerous and irresponsible to these dudes that won't. Most of them won't even make it to the next level. That's the thing. And the ones that can won't play. That's what makes this whole situation ugly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you get it, we don't know the long-term effects, because they could potentially mess your prospects. Because I don't know if you guys heard about the guy from Minnesota who had some type of heart defect after being tested positive for coronavirus. I don't know if that was a direct result. Cameron Smith, you're right. And then it was a baseball guy too, where was it for well, he had like something going on with his heart. So just imagine you're playing this year, and you get it, and then come to compound when you get these physicals, and that happens, and that end up being a direct result of you not going, not you going to the league, and you made that sacrifice all for nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah,
A big part of it
being a Miami fan, I saw Gregory Russo, who's one of the top defensive ends. He said, "I'm not playing. It's not worth it." I mean, is it worth it to possibly get it and have respiratory issues, and then your career go where you could be a top 10 pick? And Gregory Russo, he was one of the best defensive ends last year, and he could risk a possibility of being a top 10 pick and make a whole lot of money. It's especially when you have those Florida schools where it's Florida's a hotbed for coronavirus right now, and a lot of Miami guys got tested positive. And Miami was supposed to play Michigan State this year, and they canceled that. They're like, they want no part of that, So it's crazy. I just, especially when they're not getting. The NFL could do it because they're making millions and millions of dollars. A lot of these guys, so the risk that you already got your money, so it's like, all right, the risk is more warranted there. But for guys who are either trying to get paid or know that they're not going to be a professional football player, and this isn't worth it. This just isn't worth it, and it's going to be interesting. Yeah, all right. That's all I can say is it's going to be very interesting, because if the Big Ten says no football, I think I don't know when they're making their decision. I possibly this week.
Sounds like
Right.
They're saying there's.
Go ahead, Rob.
They're saying as early as tomorrow that they can make a decision.
So we find out tomorrow that the Big Ten is done.
Boy.
And I think every other conference follows this, because how can you have college football.
I think they should. I just don't think.
And I think they
will.
are. Well, I know they were
the
talking.
SEC could probably have their own thing, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't
Right.
feel. It just wouldn't feel right that you don't have the Big Ten involved.
They don't care. They don't care about the game the way that we do, right? Like we care about the history and the beauty and the prestige. It's hard to say no to,
But
millions
as we
and
know in
millions
this
and
country,
millions of dollars.
you can force things to happen, and
Yeah.
if they don't want football, if the Big Ten says we don't want football, then people are gonna be like SEC. I don't care what y'all want. I know y'all the top,
But,
dog
like, yeah.
in this, but y'all not playing football.
But,
If we don't have Ohio State in this thing, and that's big because Ohio State is the
Right.
big boys in that conference. If it wasn't Ohio State in that, maybe you're thinking different. Like whatever. But Ohio State, big.
They
dog
can still
there,
televise games, though. They can still televise competitive games. Like it doesn't have to be the NCAA final. Like you know what I mean? Like they can do something different and make money.
I mean,
But yeah, but to me, if the Olympics were canceled, anything is possible.
That's true.
That's by far the biggest money maker. And I was like, there's no way. I was in my American ignorance was like, well, NBC will not allow this to happen.
Yeah, no. I didn't think
And-
March Madness would get canceled and banned.
Right, exactly.
The difference is the IOC is a worldwide thing. People from a whole bunch of different countries.
Right.
America, we have proven to be the dumbest country when it comes to science. I mean, we and I
keeping it
damn
nice.
near everything that
Right.
the science comes with global warming. They say it's a hoax. Coronavirus. They say it's a left wing hoax.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
we're dumb.
It's a left-wing
We are
conspiracy.
dumb individuals.
The
Right.
Democrats planted coronavirus.
Exactly.
Fucking.
Wearing
But
a mask is like wearing a muzzle.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'll never understand it. But here's the thing, though. I was reading an article on ESPN earlier that there's two things that no team or conference wanted to be. Nobody wanted to be the first one to cancel it, and nobody's gonna want to be the last one to cancel.
Exactly.
That's
So the
right.
pressure's gonna
Right,
be-
right. Just like we talked about the basketball tournament because we killed Val Ackerman for
Yeah.
let those kids play that Thursday
Yep.
evening session. They killed her mercifully.
Yeah,
and
everything had been canceled.
Canceled.
And they still let them go out.
And that's and that happened so quick because I remember I was actually en route to go into the A10 and everything was canceling like minute by minute. And ACC I think was the beginning, the A10 was next, and then I think the Big East had one like 11:30 game. So just the timing was just terrible for her, and I felt for her because I was like, damn, like and we was killing her for like, well, why would you still let those guys still play and they had fans. Remember they had fans.
Yeah.
And right, so yeah.
Because as soon as the Big Ten announces, which I think they will announce that they are going to cancel the season. Like you said, the Pac-12 will follow suit right after. Within 20 minutes, they'll release their statement.
SEC's gonna be last.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I do think the SEC will be last.
Last.
No doubt.
They're in the South.
I agree
no
with
offense to
that.
everybody from the South.
South is completely. it's
Yeah.
completely
Yeah,
I'm
it's
from the-
completely
I'm
different.
I was stationed
I'm from
in
the South, and I
for
agree.
2 years. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
South,
but yeah.
they're gonna be last for sure. SEC's gonna. They're gonna fight it. They're gonna fight it to the.
They will.
And they're gonna be forced to because, like I said,
They're on the phone with the Big Ten right now.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
I think they all gonna come together. I think they all gonna have to just come together in unison because, like you're saying, you don't want to be the first or the last, and we just got to come. We learned that in basketball, where it's just like you don't want to be first, the overreactive one. Because I remember we would talk about the Penn and the Ivy League. We were like, y'all canceling y'all tournament, like,
yeah, they're the.
and then right,
Yeah.
and then we were like, well, that's crazy. But then lo and behold,
But
2
those
days
are also
later.
the most intellectual schools,
Right,
too, right?
and
Like,
that's
true.
right, and that's where we were right, and that's one thing where we should have used logic then, and like, well, if they're doing it, if the Ivy League is canceling, maybe something's wrong.
We have not.
Correct.
I just
thrown
thought
out the
about
door.
that. Like
Bro,
that
we
just
can't-
occurred
Right.
to me.
We've
Yeah.
handled
Right.
this pandemic like I said, we've handled this pandemic as a country worse than anybody. There's a
Right.
lot of countries opening back up based off them handling it the correct way. Rob can definitely attest to the fact. Steven, I'm not sure where you've been, but Rob can definitely attest to the fact that we've gone to foreign countries and they've worn masks on the regular well
Just
before you know,
That's right,
any of this.
Japan.
Like, and it had nothing to do with the
A lot of
food and
Asian
things like
countries.
that. But we went to a lot of Asian countries, and that's where I've been to a lot. Is I've been able to be in the Philippines and things like that. They wear masks on the regular just because it's like almost like a natural safety precaution, so that when
It's
it comes
hygienic.
time, exactly. And so now when it becomes time for us to do it, we're like, oh hell no, there's no way I'm wearing a mask. There's no way
Right.
I'm living outside my normal.
Right.
You guys are making me order takeout at a dine-in restaurant. I want to go to Olive Garden and sit down. So we did not want to
Olive
adjust to
Garden.
Hey, why you gotta bring alcohol in here?
Ooh, breadsticks.
because Olive Garden's breadsticks is fun.
Unlimited
Absolutely.
Exactly, but ultimately, like
You can
we
get
did not want to
Scoop
adjust to
salad.
the we didn't want to adjust to the fact that these dining
Right.
restaurants, we didn't want to adjust our life to the new normal, and now that we
Right.
didn't want to
Everyone
do
thought it was
that,
the flu. Everyone thinks it's
right,
it-
and now that
Right.
we didn't do that, this country is paying at the ultimate price, and
Right.
why I say it's the ultimate price is because sports is what makes. Sports is the most
Sports.
diverse
Right.
organization. Any sports, baseball, football, basketball, whatever, is the most diverse organization. Is the one way that can bring this country together, bring a lot
Right.
of races together, to
Bring a lot of
ultimately
money.
have some exactly
Together.
to ultimately have some
That
monetary
money,
income.
that money.
Brings people with you their money.
Right, with
Right,
sports,
right.
sports is what brings this diverse network with us from all
Together.
ethnicities
Exactly.
and races
Right.
together to
Together.
talk sports. So
Right.
ultimately, sports is the most diverse. And since
Right.
it started affecting that, the NBA shut down, no college basketball tournament. We're like, oh hell no! Give us 2 weeks
Oh my
quarantine, and
God,
we gonna bring the tournament
bettors
back.
lost their mind when the NCAA tournament got freaking.
Yeah.
How much
I
money
lost my
Vegas
mind.
lost?
Like,
Oh my
okay,
God, I was in the
quarantine
twilight
me for 2
zone.
weeks. Quarantine
I was
me
in a-
for 2 weeks, bro, and bring
I was.
me- You know what I'm saying? I sit
Right.
in the crib 2 weeks, no work. Bring back the NBA. I'm all good.
Right.
Quarantine me, please.
It, was-
Like,
it was like a
that's-
twilight zone, and I remember because I was actually in Brooklyn and overlooking the Brooklyn Bridge. Like, this can't be life.
Bro, living
Like-
in New York City, man, it was
And that was a scary time, Chris. Oh God, dude, that's when I really took everything scary. I took everything like, oh God, I need to go home,
it felt
like immediately.
the
I turned back
Resident Evil.
around. I was like, this, because I've been in New York before and seeing the streets like in Times Square. I went like that Thursday. It was empty. It was almost felt like downtown in my current town, and I'm like, oh, I got to get the hell out of here. This does not sit well with me. I got to go home.
That day was crazy. I had to watch Vince Carter's last game against the Knicks.
Oh,
Thinking that
My
whole thing, like,
goodness.
that damn it, yeah, that was sad.
I was watching that game. And they were
2020
saying,
can
the
kick
news
rocks
started
for what they
breaking
did to Vince
out,
Carter.
and the
Yeah.
crowd was silent for like a good few minutes. and
Yep.
nobody knew what was going on, and then Mike Green started talking about like, yeah, this is possibly Vince Carter's last game.
Yeah, that game was
ever.
weird watching. Yeah,
You know, and
I
was
know.
Why
like,
you gotta make everybody sad, man?
And then how he hit that three, and I was like, oh boy,
yeah,
this
hit
is
the
it.
three, and then it hit me,
I was like, oh
this
Lord, this is
really the
over.
last
It's
shot.
over.
Man, 2020 has just been
Yeah.
it's been a tough year, and then
Yeah.
possibly no college football, and we
Right.
don't know if we're gonna get we probably
Right.
like, NFL will start, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna finish.
And what about next year
All right.
for all
No,
these sports?
Right,
What about
exactly. Next year.
and they talked about with the NBA that they're gonna have bubbles for each conference, like each
And
division.
the owners,
So,
are potentially going to lose billions of dollars next season.
Yeah.
So the
And
cap's gonna go down, so that's gonna affect guys' money.
Money.
That's
Right.
true.
That's gonna affect the movement, the free movement that we've seen of NBA
Free agency.
superstars going
Yeah.
places. Like that may keep a guy like Giannis because he might only be able to make 150. You know,
Exactly.
staying in Milwaukee instead of like he could make 220 staying in Milwaukee, but he could make 180 going elsewhere to win a
Right.
championship. So that's gonna affect the player movement, which has
Money-
been
Right,
The past few
right.
years has been the new norm.
There will be no Timothy Moskov $64 million deals in this league. No more. No
No,
more.
but there's going to be a lot of 1-year deals.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
of 1-year deals.
Yes,
if that
absolutely.
I
happens.
think
Yeah.
this year for sure is you're gonna, especially in the NBA, you're gonna see a lot of guys just go back, sign
Stay
1 year
put.
deals because you don't know.
Right.
You can't sign a long term deal like
No.
4 year, $30 million when you real on the market you could have got 75. So why just sign the 1 year
Yeah.
and see what happens for the
Right.
And I
Right, it's gonna
I
be
feel
one
bad
bad year.
for the dudes that have team options on their contract. Like those are the dudes I feel sorry
Oh
for.
Lord,
Because
yes.
the dudes that got those big, kind of mid-major level contracts
Yeah.
with team
Mhm.
Yeah.
options. Feel
Ooh.
bad for those dudes, man.
like
Screw.
Montrezl Harrell. I look at Montrezl Harrell.
Yes.
he's a free agent. a second round pick who didn't get money as a draft. Like he was probably going to get 75, 80, 90 million dollars
Off the rip.
I don't know if he's
Yeah,
going to get
18 to 20
I
mil a year,
don't-
easy.
I don't see
Yeah.
him getting that money.
Not
this
now.
offseason.
Not now.
You know, he's going to definitely get a lot less than what his value is. So guys like that, I think AD is going to get his money no matter what because he's AD.
He's
Like, so
AD.
if he resigns to LA,
and
gonna
he's
get
marketable
money,
too.
and
You're right.
kind of marketable.
He's got his Pringles
Ish.
commercials, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, because
He's got a unibrow. And he's got a unibrow.
That's the only thing marketable. He has no personality.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Zero.
I love him. I mean, I
He's
personally
pretty
like
I
him.
like
deadpan.
him. I think he's a great player, but he has no personality. It's the unibrow.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't shave it. He did the whole thing where he shaved it, but it was fake. Remember that?
Yeah, I got a little nervous.
Yeah, I was like, oh, really? Then you're nothing, bro. Your market sucks.
Right.
You're no longer a nickname. You're
You're
just
not longer a
Anthony
nickname.
Davis.
Yeah, get your
But,
thing.
yeah.
But it's go
Just to
go.
It's like
think
James
that
Harden shaving his beard.
Next season, just to
Right.
think that next season and stuff like that is probably going to be played the same way it's being played now. No fans, no nothing. I mean,
I
it's-
love the
it's
bubble
still
though,
crazy.
man.
Unless
I
love watching the
They've
bubble.
created this
NBA
atmosphere. Baseball is weird.
They're done. They're done. They're
It's
done.
just- It's just crazy to think that, like, unless they come up with some vaccine that works out of nowhere, or people actually start listening, we're going to
They
be
ain't
stuck
gonna
in
listen.
the same situation.
Out of nowhere.
They're not gonna listen.
Yeah,
People
they haven't
are-
listened up until this
ultimately,
point.
Chris, what they'll do is they'll do us a favor. I could see them doing a bubble next year, and ultimately, once
gonna
again,
be
we
a
get to
bubble
watch
next year.
basketball without the Knicks. So ultimately, they'll be doing all of us guys a favor.
Oh,
No, I will say this.
Y'all are
On
gonna
a
have a
serious
sidebar
note-
after this.
I'm muting you. Where's the mute button?
On a serious
Sidebar.
note,
I
I'm
would've
about to
never
lose his VP status real quick. But on a serious note, though,
bro.
I do the few games, the little bit of basketball I have watched, I do really like the bubble because you don't have to worry about the traveling fatigue. You don't have to worry about
huge,
the
right?
back to backs, playing one game, trying to fly home. They're all right there. I love that aspect. But one thing I do want to hit on real quick though is as far as go back to the college football. See, the only way that I think is going to work for all parties involved is if they grant all the student athletes another year of eligibility.
They have to.
Because-
They have to do that.
Because you figure someone like Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, they're done. They're not going to play this
Yeah,
season.
they're
going.
made.
They're
As much
fine.
as Trevor Lawrence says he wants to play this season, he's not going to,
no.
because as soon as they cancel the
He's
season,
being a franchise quarterback right now.
right, exactly. As soon as they cancel the season, they're dropping out of school, they're hiring an agent, and they're working
Training.
on
training,
yeah, they're
Yeah,
training
get
for
ready,
the combine
right.
and the draft.
Instantly.
To have a whole nother year off of football, especially Justin Fields, who gets hit a little bit more than Trevor Lawrence does, especially the skill position receivers, running backs
Those are
who
the
get
top
hit
two
a
picks.
lot more.
Those are the top two
It's our
picks.
two
Exactly.
picks.
People are going to be
And
able to
you're
get
right.
a year off of no contact. I think
Right.
those people are going to benefit a lot. And then the ones who are borderline, who they might be mid-round picks, but as long as they grant another year of eligibility, which they
should
should,
get
and
it.
I
It
believe
will,
they will.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And they need to
And
let
they-
dudes come
Right.
out earlier.
Right.
And they need to let dudes come out earlier.
And as a sidebar, somewhat related to it, this is a perfect example of why the transfer portal really works. Because just imagine if Justin Herbert was at Georgia last year behind Jake Fromm.
Justin
Well,
Fields.
Justin Fields. Yeah, what I said? Who I
Justin
said? Who I said?
Yeah,
Justin
Justin
Herbert.
Herbert.
Oh, good Lord. It's 11 o'clock at night. But
He
anyway,
wouldn't have survived in
yeah.
the SEC.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Just imagine if Fields didn't
Right.
have tape from Ohio State in 2019.
Wow. That's-
He would have been in such. He'd have been. He would have been. His
Right.
career would be uncertain.
Yeah, you're right. He'd be a
Yeah,
fifth round draft pick based on speculation.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But they also
that
need
was
to
an
let
odd choice too
the
that he even went to Georgia. I never understood why he even went to Georgia
because he thought he can beat him
Well, he
out.
thought he was gonna beat him out.
Yeah,
Which
but
he
Easton
should've.
didn't get beat out.
But that's
garbage.
But that's their
He's
guy.
garbage. But Fromm is garbage.
Exactly, but that's their guy though. So why would he think that he was going to
Mo?
a 2 year
Compared to,
sophomore?
I mean, you know that, Mo. We know that, Mo.
Come on,
Man, we all know.
We know
he in
that.
a Southern state.
But-
Georgia.
He led his team
Kirby
to a
Smart.
national championship. I don't like to bring race and everything, but he's a
But it's
white
true, though.
quarterback. Justin
Right.
Fields was not going to be. Here's the thing: was
He
Justin
wasn't
Fields
going to
great?
beat him out. No.
And when
No.
he played great for Ohio State, and you ultimately felt like, damn, Georgia let that guy go to Ohio State and bring great things to Ohio State. But Justin Fields was not going to be able to show in a spring,
No.
skip a summer, summer workouts or whatever, but he wasn't going to be able to show in a spring game and ultimately training camp that he was so much better than Jake Fromm that he was going to take his spot. And it's in a southern state where a lot
Right.
of race, and in football, race
right.
holds a lot of weight, especially
Oh, no,
with the
no,
mindset of a black quarterback probably can't do what a white quarterback can't, even though in the college it's a little bit different. And a lot of your dynamic guys are black college quarterbacks that we don't see go on to the next level. Your Braxton Millers, Cardell Jones,
Right.
JT Bears, guys like that. If we get into Ohio State and just
Right.
the
Marcus
doubt
Russell.
of Lamar Jackson, Jamarcus Russell. But ultimately, bro, biggest bust of all time. But he wasn't gonna. He had too much. He had a little bit of time to show that he was that much better than Jake Fromm. And they
Yeah.
ultimately,
And that's
Jake
what-
Fromm was a quarterback that reached the national championship. So you weren't gonna do enough to say, you know what, we were one game away from winning the national championship.
You're
He
welcome.
wasn't gonna be able to do enough. He left. He beat out Tate Martell before Tate Martell even had a chance to show what he had to do. Tate Martell.
I could have beat
R.I.P.
out Tate Martell.
But I'm saying Tate
he's
Martell
me-
talked
he's our
talk
third
that
string
noise
quarterback.
and dip. He talked that noise.
Huh? No
and
way.
you know
He
what
had
I'm
Duke?
saying? And dip.
No, he's at Miami.
Oh, yeah,
He's
Miami?
at
He's still at Miami. Oh, God. He's still at
still-
Miami. Wow.
He's like
No,
a
it's
wide
Duke, it's Duke
receiver.
basketball, Miami football.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. At
I
all.
can't root for Duke football. I'm sorry.
Daniel Jones.
I
you
don't
know?
like
I
rooting
don't-
because I'm USC football and North Carolina basketball. I
That
don't
makes
fall
more
into that.
sense. USC and North Carolina have no beef when they cross paths. That makes way more sense than Duke and Miami who are in the same
That's true.
conference. Like that's
That
like
is
me
true.
saying
Well-
Ohio State football. I'm an Ohio State football fan, but I'm a Michigan basketball fan.
Yeah.
I'd be banned
that's
as an
different.
Ohio State football
That's
fan.
different.
We got to
smack
give him
me.
something, dude. He's also a Knicks fan. We got to give him something. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. What are
Give him a caveat.
They getting on us, man. These niggas, come on.
Yeah, so let's thought about that. So now when Duke football plays Miami, you're like,
I'm Miami.
beat Duke.
You're like screw Duke, but then when they play Miami in
Basketball, I'll be
you're like,
confused.
go Blue Devils.
I'll be
Like,
confused.
come on,
He's
bro.
got
I'm
one of
so
those house
confused.
divided license.
Oh,
He's got one of them home divided license.
Wow,
plates.
I'll be confused.
That's like if Jeff told me, if I told
Justin
Jeff,
Fields
yeah, I
with
love
an
Ohio
interception.
State football, but I'm a root for Michigan in basketball. Jeff would be like, you're banned
That's
from
the
claiming
thing.
Ohio State. Anymore.
Miami and Duke are.
I would say it
rivals
was
in
more if
any
it was
aspect.
Michigan State.
Okay, we'll measure it at
Yeah,
that.
Ohio State
But-
and Michigan are rivals. You wouldn't be
If
a fan.
Duke-
Duke and Miami are in the
Duke-
same
if
conference.
Duke
They're not even
basketball
rivals,
got
though.
enough.
That's like saying Vanderbilt and freaking
Right.
Arkansas. Like,
LSU.
You can't root
Right.
for Vanderbilt
LSU.
and Arkansas. You can't root for
can't
Vanderbilt
do
and
that.
Arkansas.
You
But
can't
you
do
can't
that.
do
They're
that.
not rivals though.
They're
Like,
in the same
Miami
conference.
and
It
Duke
doesn't
are-
matter. You
Miami
can't
and
do
Duke
that.
are
And they're
rivals.
bordering, and they're neighboring states,
Miami
Chris,
and North
if-
Carolina-
If
and
Duke
are-
basketball got in a fight with Miami football, who would you pick?
Oh, but Miami in 2000, Miami, but not now. This is
It's
historic.
2020. Chris.
I'm
What would you
confused.
pick in 2020, Chris? We're
Yeah.
not talking about
Back in the
2000.
day, Miami. That's why I was a fan, because Miami and Duke were good in early 2000s or late 90s. So that's why I was a fan of them. But
Yeah, Duke.
Wow.
yeah, Duke, fucking Ohio State, interception.
Devin Hester
Justin
ran for
Fields.
like Devin Hester ran for like 5 punt returns for
I hope
touchdowns in
LeBron
one
James-
game.
Man, he
That's
killed
not-
us
that's
too.
not a
You
rivalry
don't know
right
how
there.
He killed. Hey,
Freaking that.
and he was and even though it ain't basketball, but he was a bucket, man. He killed us too with
But
UNC,
there was
man.
no
He killed
like, there
us.
was no like grit in the Miami Duke because like Devin Hester ran for like 3 kick returns and 2 punt returns for
Yeah.
a touchdown in one game. So there was no like, oh yeah, Duke has a rivalry with Miami, but still you can't root for both. Y'all in the same conference. That'd be like me saying, okay, we'll measure it. That's like me saying I root for Ohio State football and Maryland basketball.
No,
You can't do that. We're in the same conference.
Well,
No, you can't do that.
You can root
well,
basketball in Ohio State football.
That's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying. You're saying that's okay.
What?
No,
What's
for
okay?
me, I could root for Ohio State football and Maryland basketball. No, I
probably give
couldn't.
you
Yeah,
Maryland.
that's
Nah,
right.
yeah, I
for
think same
Maryland basketball.
conference should be off limits.
Well, it's too
Exactly.
late. So
And you ain't
Well,
hey,
I think to me it would just be confusion.
Hey, the boss.
You're the head honcho. You do what you want.
Miami
Yeah, whatever you
till I
say
die,
goes. Whatever
and
you
I'm
say
Duke
goes, Prez.
basketball forever.
Yeah,
He
you head
hears your
honcho.
recommendations, but no.
I hear what you're
It's too
saying.
late. I'm too invested. I can't change
That's right.
that.
That's
feel
right.
you. I feel
And
you.
plus, I can't root for Duke football. It's just that would be too much for my heart.
Daniel Jones.
I root
Yeah, it'd
for
be rough.
Arkansas football and basketball. You want to talk to me about rough, bro?
I know you ain't talking about. You better talk about your what's your me, man? How you think I feel? Y'all beat us like the last 3-4 years in football, and then y'all swept us this year on some luck. Because what's your Ty's brother would travel? To be real with you.
Are we
Couch
talking
getting his feelings.
Arkansas? Are we talking Arkansas basketball?
Oh,
right
not
now,
everything
Couch?
could be about
Oh,
basketball.
right.
Are we bringing up Arkansas basketball?
Everything
right
you
now?
brought up-
You
No,
brought
no,
up Cordell
UNC.
Jones. You brought up Cordell
Right.
Jones.
I give Arkansas
Y'all
football.
let go Joe Burrow, so
Look, Arkansas.
Right.
Yeah, we let go of Joe Burrow because he couldn't beat out freaking Dwayne Haskins.
It's 'cause he had a
That's not
broken
my
All
name.
hand.
right, all right. That's my franchise quarterback you talking about. Watch your
Dwayne
mouth.
Haskins- So time out though. Real quick,
No
just
more
one more
house
thing.
That's it. We have the
Dwayne
limit.
Haskins threw the year that we let Joe Burrow go. Dwayne Haskins threw for 52 touchdowns. I just want to throw that out there. Joe Burrow threw for like 23. So I'm just throwing that out there. Just,
And then he had the
just
greatest
for kicks
season
and
ever.
giggles. Okay, who cares?
could have won a national championship for him too, but you had to let him go.
So what?
Aww.
Hey,
I want to say this:
okay.
if Joe Burrow never broke his thumb, Dwayne Haskins would have never got that job.
Nope.
Joe Burrow wouldn't have won us a national championship. He was boo boo in the time.
Dwayne
he
Haskins
played.
didn't win you a national championship either.
That's fine.
Dwayne Haskins got
Oh.
blown out by Purdue.
right.
I'm a Dwayne Haskins guy, but homeboy got blown out by Purdue.
USC
Well,
loses 4 to 5
okay,
games
all
this
right.
season. Leave it alone.
Okay, we really want to know what happened. That was the Tyler Trent game. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that was all
That was
about
it. That was
Tyler
it.
Trent.
That was one of those. That was just an emotional game. You know, this football's about emotion, and they just got dusted out Purdue. I mean, that was just a situation that was just beyond their control.
Speaking of which, Rondell Moore's already sat out, so he's done.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's hey, I don't blame him. I mean,
Right.
hey,
I'm
why
out.
not? Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah. There's a lot of guys. There's going to be more guys.
Right.
They're going to say they don't play, but
And I
You
think
know-
the decision will be made for him. To be honest
Yep.
with you.
yeah. That's going to be interesting to see. But guys, this was fun. This is a dope conversation. Had a fun time talking with you fellas for these last few hours. Before we sign off, just everyone go through what they got planned with their work. Plug your stuff. Couch, you go first, Couch.
Yes, Couch Coach Live podcast every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Check out the website, couchcoachlive.com, social media, Couch Coach Live, and podcast anywhere, Couch Coach Live.
Steven?
Oh, yes, sir. So with All Aspect Sports, first off, just want to say thanks to everybody letting me come on and, sharing y'all's big day. Y'all are family, and I appreciate getting to kick it with you guys. So allaspectsports.com, you can find, NFL, NBA, MLB, NCAA, MMA. We got great podcasts on there. Breaking the Game is the one that myself and my new co-host, Austin Carr, run together. You can check us out on there. We got Instagram and Twitter, BTG NBA Pod on both of those. If you want to follow me, you can find me at Stephen AAS on Twitter and Stephen W. Gillespie on Instagram. Come check us out at allaspectsports.com. Got a lot of great material, both written work and podcasts. And we got more podcasts coming in the future. And again, much love to all you guys, man. Appreciate y'all letting me hang out with you guys this evening.
Cool. Edgar, what you got in store? You got anything going on?
I'm just gonna be working with you guys in Off the Ball podcast. Whatever you guys need me to do, I'm the new guy, so I'll hop on the podcast. You want me to write some articles, edit stuff? I'll do it.
For sure.
Just let me know, bro. I got some stuff with Knicks Fan TV, Knicks content, edit stuff and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys, just grinding and whatnot, so we could build this up. Thank you for the opportunity.
No doubt.
It was great listening to all of you guys.
Yeah. I'm happy you're a part of the crew. Definitely gonna have you on these more because always great discussions with these guys. Mo.
Yeah, man. Y'all can follow me at Up in Flames Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Now that I can constantly say it on a regular basis, I'm glad to be the VP of the Off the Ball Network. I'm so glad that it's out there for everybody to know. So me and Jeff can constantly claim that as our title. So as VP of the Off the Ball Network, y'all definitely follow us. Offtheballnetwork.com. You know, things like that. You're going to see everybody's great work on there, from Couch Coach to obviously the press, Chris, Jeff, every time he posts some. Rob has an article on there right now. He has his own podcast page, so check him out. Read his bio, learn something about him as an individual, and then go on there and check all his podcasts out. He has some dope podcasts. You could go on my personal page to hear the Up in Flames podcast section to hear my personal podcast and things like that. So, like I said, you know, Chris, I'm loving that. I'm going to continue to work with you. All you guys, matter of fact, because you know this isn't going to be the last time we work. We're all part of the same network. Steven, you know, I know you're all Aspect Sports, but it's collaboration as opposed to competition when we get with each other. So, you know, I can't wait to work with all y'all. We're going to have live content coming up with all of us on here, you know, maybe me and Rob or just me and Coach or whatever, Rob and Jeff. We're going to constantly see that. But follow me as an individual on Up in Flames Pod. You can also find everything that I put out from here on out on the Off the Ball Network, whether you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or actually check us out on our website. So definitely make sure you go do that, because this is going to be something big for every individual on here. They're going to have something to do with it, whether it's articles. Like I said, Rob writes articles, posts podcasts. I'm going to start writing articles. Jeff is the VP, Chris is the prez, Couch Coach is a big time contributor. So y'all just go check us out as a network, check us out as individuals, and continue to show love and start getting us out there to show more love.
Yeah.
Rob?
Once again, Chris, obviously, thank you for tremendous opportunity. Like Mo said, I have 2 articles up right now on offtheballnetwork.com. One of them is about the arrest and release of Darius Geis. Another one is something that I've been fighting with the last few months, and the last couple of years actually. Being a fan of a team with a racial slur as a nickname in what is considered a PC culture. So definitely go check that out. Let me know what you think. Thank you to everybody who, you know, working with me is definitely great. Steven, obviously all Aspect Sports, but again, you'll always be part of the Off the Ball Network family.
Appreciate you, brother.
Last thing I do want to close on is that it has been 149 days since Breonna Taylor's murder. Jonathan Mattingly, Brett Hankerson, and Miles Cosgrove all need to be arrested and charged with the murder of Breonna Taylor.
100%.
100%.
Thanks for saying that, Rob. 100%,
Yeah.
bro. I
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
That's 100%.
Yep, for sure.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a whole nother show we could talk about. But Jeff, what's going on, man?
We got a lot of things at work. Jeff needs help. The podcast is currently operating. My sports podcast. I'm doing a little rebranding, but that's cool. It's still functional. Just gotta tune some things up and straighten some things out. But I'll be putting out content. I'm proud to be on the Off the Ball Network. You can find me on Twitter at jhunt006. But my all sports content will be picking up here soon. Just got some T's to cross and some I's to dot, so to speak. But this was fun. It's a great network. All you guys are doing awesome. So let's just keep kicking it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, for sure. And you could find me Off the Ball Podcast. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Off the Ball Pod. Podcast available on all podcast platforms, and obviously Off the Ball Network. You could follow all the social media on the offtheballnetwork.com. Follow everything there. Got articles, like I said, by Rob. He had some really good articles that we started off the day with. So that was really good. Good feedback from that. All the podcasts, you want to listen to all these guys, go on the podcast page, find the podcast. And I think what I like, that's why I wanted your guys' bio. I want people to get to know you guys too. Because it's one thing for me to just put your podcast out there, bam, and that's it. But get to know about you guys, get a little bit about your story. Nothing crazy, but to get to know you guys a little bit, understand where you guys are coming from, your backgrounds and all that, and on top of, having your podcast and all that. And I think that was important to get that out there. Off the Ball Network is here.
It's live.
It's live. Like I said earlier, it was a lot of work, a lot of couple sleepless nights trying to figure everything out. But like I said, can't do this without a team, and appreciate you guys for helping out through the process. Happy to have Edgar on the team. I'm excited to have him aboard because he does some great stuff, like I said, with Knicks Fan TV. So I'm happy to have him and everyone else involved. We got some solid writers and some other great podcasters, and like I said, always looking to add more to the family. And like I said, this is something that I really feel really good about, and that's why I got you guys here. So I'm excited about the future of this. Excited about you guys doing your thing, because that's why you're here. That's why I got you guys here, because you all do tremendous work with your podcast and all the content you guys create. So this was a fun discussion. We got we did a lot of people got involved, in the chat and watching. I'm looking at the numbers, man. We a lot of people are definitely tuned in. So it seems like we'll definitely be doing a lot more of these, of course, like we've been doing as usual. But definitely looking forward to have Edgar on more of these. And Steven, you're doing your thing with your network. Always love there and continue support there, doing your thing. But guys,
Appreciate it.
this is the beginning. This is beginning of something special with the Off the Ball Network. So like I said, thank you for being a part of this. Most importantly, because I can't do this without you guys. So let's continue to kill it and continue to do more great work. And we're definitely gonna do more of these lives. We'll definitely have everything posted on the website, on social media. So I'm excited, guys. This is fun. Be safe first and foremost. Be safe wherever you are. And this was fun. And we'll definitely do this soon, guys. Take care. All right.
Thank you,
sure.
man.
All right.